Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Comic Shop Conversations. I am running off of like the ginger immunity boost drinks, Halls and like Ricola cough drops, what's Tylenol and aspirin, and plenty of like water, tea, and soup because it feels like my brains are falling out of my head right now. But the show must go on, and it is Good Friday, and I would be remiss in my duties if I did not talk about Good Friday a little bit for our live show before we get started. And what are my little inconveniences of having a sore throat or a fever when we know what our Savior did on Good Friday. But before we get into Good Friday, how you guys been? Kyle, you just got back from a trip, from a convention.
Yeah, I was at C2E2 up in Chicago last
Heck yeah,
weekend.
man.
So good to
How'd
be
that go?
back. Good, great. Sold out of almost everything, so I don't have much left. I did run into a fan of the show, Kaiser Jose.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
he came up to
cool.
talk to him. I didn't have a book that he wanted at the time, but I was able to snag. So Kaiser, if you ever do show up, I do have
Ooh.
last one, the only one right now that is not sold. I have it for
Is
him.
that a foil or a metal?
That's foil.
Okay.
So I do have that for him. I couldn't find one at the time, so he picked up another one. But I do have it. That's the last one. So that's for him. But yeah, no, it's a great time, great show.
Dude, did it feel weird to have a fan come up and go like, "You're Kyle, aren't you?"
Yeah, normally it's a bad thing.
Yeah, normally they're like, "Hey, you
got something for you." Yeah.
Yeah, you idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you all the time on that stupid channel.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I met him. The first time I met him, I was like, "Hey, you jerkwad!"
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, right here."
Yeah. Yep, that's me, Jerkwad LLC. Yep, we got him
right here.
Well, the jerk store's running out of you. So Kyle, not Kevin, aka the Jerk Store. So funny enough, you were Goob was doing a live stream and she was like showing the booth, and I hop in there and I go, say hi to Kyle for me. And she goes, I will, and then just kept walking.
Yeah,
and didn't say hi to you.
20 minutes later, she's like, somebody said something. She had to scroll all the way back up.
And I almost said, tell Kyle to get off his fat ass, because you were sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you were talking to Kaiser. And I was like, because you were talking to someone, and I was like, only a fan would want to talk to Kyle. So no, I'm kidding.
Well, I was unboarding and bagging and reboarding and bagging all these books for all these other artists. So I was just sitting there constantly all day, just taking books out, getting them signed, putting them back in. I mean, it was, yeah.
And for someone who is taller, to have to bend over the table and do that is a nightmare.
Yeah.
So sitting down makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I almost gave you a hard time on the live stream, but it was pretty funny because she's like, I will, and then just get one.
Yeah, she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. But then again, they probably have, hundreds of people asking about like, hey, what's this book? Or hey, can you say hi to Don, or say hi to Ebass or something? So
yeah, always.
But sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of comics and books, Drew, you have got a new book coming out that you've got the sign up for, right?
That's right. Unholy Nightmare #2 is up for signups now. You can be notified when we go live. We're probably going to be going live after Dallas Fan Expo. We're going to take this time to really build up the audience, to really spread the word, take the time for that, and really show off the covers, some interior art. And there's one of the covers from Tristan Thompson, TriStar, he did for us. And we've got as a infamous gunman once said, we have a plethora of covers for Unholy Nightmare 2. A lot of them are very, very beautiful and unique in their own ways. A little bit of something for everyone. And I really hope that everyone checks this out. And like Aaron Sparrow says, it's a fun read. It's a great read. And there's stuff in there he wishes he had thought of, and I love that.
Hell yeah. Well, if anyone is interested in signing up to make sure that they are first on the Unholy Nightmare #2 campaign and trail, go to this link. I have it in the chat, but I also have in the description of this video. Go sign up so that you know when this is launched. So you'll save it. There are currently 72 followers following this campaign. But to incentivize you to follow this and to get ingratiated into the Unholy Nightmare universe, let's take a look at some of these covers, eh?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mr. JC Grande here. Yeah, we wanted to do a Stephen Platt Splat homage, and he did this actually back during MegaCon, and we were all blown away by it. And naturally, we got Dan Kemp, Spawn colorist, to color it for us, and he absolutely nailed it, and couldn't be happier with this.
Yeah, this is rad, man. And when you show this next to the Stephen Platt cover, it's pretty fun to see like where the inspiration came from. So I love all the shells being spit out here. It's a lot of fun. So.
Dan, let's just say Dan was not the happiest guy, the colors, when he had to color those.
Oh my God, of course
he
not,
he had to color each individual one. So yeah, he was not happy.
Oh my Lord. But it looks rad. And it feels like there's a lot going on, but not too much to where like I don't understand what's happening. So yeah. I like it a lot. You can definitely make sure that you're seeing all the different action that's happening. Let's hop over to another one here. And this one looks clean, man. This is crisp. And this is the Golem.
Yep, that's the Golem. Yeah, right there. So issue 2 is the introduction of the Golem. And then the cover here, you have Jenny the She-Wolf versus the Golem. And hey, you know what? The cover reflects what happens on the interior of the book. There's actually, again, the fisticuffs inside the book.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what's interesting about the Golem, he can't speak. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting fight that happens.
Dynamic. No, this is cool, man. I like this a lot. I love that she's kind of coming forward and like almost popping out at you. But she looks great, and the Golem looks like a really cool character to kind of work off of. So
yeah, and that's you just reminded me. So yeah, we're going to be adding on the campaign. I'm going to announce it here. We have a 10-page, like a Tales from the Crypt short story of the origin of the Golem, my origin of the Golem, where he comes from, and
Sweet,
I took a lot of time writing that, and I think Josh, you read it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's fantastic. Are you announcing who did the art or?
Oh, what the hell? What the hell? Why not? Mr. Voodon, he did the story for the Golem. Yes, color the 10-pager, and it is arguably the most beautiful work he has ever done.
It is great.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Mr. Voodon, who also did a cover for one of Kyle's books as well. I purchased the Voodon trade dress of Kyle's book that should be arriving here shortly. So you guys should see that. And we'll just rip it live on stream. I think, just for the sake of showcasing how much we want to support Kyle in that. So we'll keep the Voodon cover, but like the rest of the range.
No, yeah, you don't need the rest.
Yeah. This may be one of my favorite covers you've done, Drew. This is so rad. So once again, we get the Golem again, but we also get our titular character, as well as the Unholy Nightmare title here. But what was the inspiration for this? Was there a specific issue that you got?
Yeah, there was a Tales from the Crypt issue I saw, and I was like, I wanted if we're doing a horror series, I want to do like a Tales from the Crypt, an EC Comics homage cover. And I reached out to Frank Guzin, did this. I sent him the original cover from Tales from the Crypt I saw. I'm like, hey, I would love to do an homage to this with the Golem and the Recluse, and will you have these 3 characters on the side? And he was like, all right, man, I dig it. So he did this. He did 2 variants. So this is one of them. The other variant, the Golem has a crushed head in his hand. So it's like
nice.
It's a red background with the head crushed in his hand. So got 2 options for that. But yeah, so Russ Cassidy, who he runs the campaigns for Murat Michaels, Billy Tucci. He's working with me on these books, and he actually did the layout of this. And he's like, honestly, I think this is some of the best work I've done. And I was like, dude,
Whoa.
you fucking nailed this. It is beautiful.
That looks so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Looks
did
good.
the banner, the lettering, everything. Yeah, he love it.
Sweet, dude. So here's the variant of that. Here's like the PG-13 or the PG, and then here's the
PG,
R-rated.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. I gotta say that signature is pretty rad. Oozing.
Yeah.
I like it. And last but not least, finally, another one. TriStar. Look at that.
TriStar. Tristan Thompson. So yeah, that's one of two covers. We haven't shown the risque one, but yeah, there's a risque variant of this from Tristan.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely
Sweet, man.
absolutely nailed it.
This
That
looks
was actually
great.
this is the first one. We had this done over a year ago. Actually, reached out to Tristan.
That's right. But I'm impressed with this face, man. I'm real like, of course the body looks banging, but like the faces, I'm really impressed with how he was able to render this. So that looks good.
So that's all we're going to show for now. I think
Yeah.
we've still got a few more to release. Stay tuned.
Good deal. Well, thanks for letting us share that, man. And thank you to everyone in the chat and all the viewers who are watching this, who are going to be signing up for Unholy Nightmare number 2. Now, speaking of, some of Drew's books, but in relation to Josh's channel, I did also want to highlight the newest video on Josh's channel, Pop by Culture, graphic content, Silent Nights issue number 1 review. So let me go ahead and pull this bad boy up. But tell us a little bit about this, Josh.
Yeah, so graphic content is something that I've been wanting to launch for a while and kind of jump back into reviewing. But I kind of told myself I was done with reviewing single issues, and then Drew's like, "Hey, could you review Silent Nights?" And I was like, "Yeah, for you, I will." But yeah, no, I mean it's a great kind of jump in to the story, and I would say just go check out the video. It's a quick video with the intro and the outro. I think it's only like 7 minutes, so it's not long at all. But it lets me showcase some of the art. There is a age restriction on it because I did not censor the art in any way. I'm going to try to do my best to just show what's in the book. But you're gonna see one that the book looks beautiful. I compare it to the art style to like a European style comics, and I personally love that style.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun, sexy, action-packed launch to a story. So go check that out, and then this will be a monthly series that we do, and it'll focus on trades. That way I can kind of discuss full stories as they're packaged and delivered. And we should have another episode of this dropping because this month is a five-week month for Tuesday. So this Tuesday, we're going to have another graphic content episode dropping. And I don't know if I'm going to drop Transformers, the first trade, or Conan, the first trade. So one of those two is coming. So, yeah.
And when you say the first trade of Transformers or Conan, you mean 2024? Well, actually, yeah. So the most recent iteration.
The current run, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try to cover current books. That way I've got something current out. But I don't want to jump in. Like, they just released Conan, what was the Battle of the Blackstone? Is that?
Yeah.
They just released the trade for it, but I don't want to jump in the middle of the story. So I'll end up catching up and then kind of hit stuff as they're releasing. So
nice. I like it. Yeah, it stays relevant, but you're highlighting all the good stuff. So I like it.
Correct.
Now my turn. I'm going to plug something, but I'm going to plug our memberships. So hail to everyone who is currently, highlighted as a member. I'm just going to run through these real quick. We've got Andrew Matthews, Vex Electronica, Sigma Comics, Kyle, not Kevin. We've got Rudy Tatigwe, Keone K, Chester Benson, Zax, Josh, Cajun, Clinton Hausch, Eric O'Sullivan, Ash Lauren, Dr. Rachel, John Rabina, George Dimitropoulos, Flaccid Phoenix himself, Michael Salo, Roman of the Empire, Steph, My Nerdy Home, Codenomics, Al McNeil, Shield Wall Dragons, Man of War 665, The Neighbor of the Beast, Silverlock, Jamin D, and MG. Thank you all so much for being members of the channel. Now, if you guys in the chat or viewers would like to be a member, please feel free to hopping on one of these prestigious levels of membership. For as low as 99 cents a month, you could join at the Copper Age, the Bronze for $2, Silver for $3, and Golden for $5. And you guys will get some cool perks. This week, I released a video talking about Vegas, and I was on my way to work, so you guys maybe see me in a suit every now and then. But it just gives you guys some background info. But also, I've got some videos up there of full 15-minute videos of page flip throughs of some of my artist editions. So if you want to see full on 15-minute videos of every single page of the giant sized colossal edition of the Conan artist edition, or you want to see the one for Extremity, I have all of those up there as well. So all that being said, join the memberships. They're a ton of fun, and we get to shout you out on the channel, and it's always good to see y'all in the chat. So appreciate everyone who is viewing, even all the lurkers. Love seeing all the lurkers. Speaking of saying hi, we've got Cajun Corey. Says, evening, guys. Well, evening to you, sir. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Jamin D throwing up the rock sign. MG says, Max, I can't believe you didn't go to Vegas and talk about Snow White as the main guest for 3 hours. I reported you to my dad, who works at YouTube. Yeah, no, MG, I did not make it to Vegas this year, unfortunately. Josh and I, normally we go and we have a blast and we get a little too drunk, but not this year. Not this year. Even some of the guys, I was talking to, I think it was Quarter Black Garrett, or I heard Ryan say something, but a lot of them agreed. They were like, this was a really crap week to do it on, because it's literally Holy Week. There are a lot of people who didn't go this week because they were like, no, I physically can't. There's Easter and it's Holy Week, and I'm not gonna go to Vegas. That's just, yeah. So
yeah. It was, I think it was probably rough for a couple of reasons. One, Easter week. Two, they were a little late in getting the official dates out, which, I mean, there was a death in the family. I get it, prioritize that. But as they're not the most planful people to begin with. They are kind of fly by, and I love them for that. But for me, that gives me anxiety. I can't do it. I'm
100%.
Let's get this nailed down.
And it's also tough because normally the meetups are during the week, because that's the only time that we can reserve a bar. So if we reserve a bar on a Saturday, it's going to be 10 times the amount of money that we have to pay for it. So we normally do it on a Wednesday or Thursday. And previous years we've done it when CinemaCon is in town. But this year I guess we did it during WrestleMania. So it was just there were a lot of different things that were conflicting, and I was just okay, you know what? No, I'm just not gonna go. But
you didn't want to go and experience WrestleMania, Max?
I mean, seeing a bunch of sweaty, naked dudes slapping each other around
sounds like a good time.
Sounds like fun. I mean, if I get to see some Sweet Chin Music and D-Generation X, I'm all about it, But that's all I know. So
no Doink the Clown, no IRS.
These guys in our group chat today are going you never heard of Oingo Boingo? And I'm okay, now we're just making stuff up now.
It was Doink the Clown, man. Doink the Clown and IRS, Erwin R. Shyster. They were real things. And it was the 90s. It was fantastic.
Now, I bet that if I were to get into it, I'd really get autistic and have a ton of fun, but that's just never been my realm. So now I could talk about 90s bodybuilders. They're similar. Both are
Kyle.
Check. 90s bodybuilders are greased up, got muscle bound guys too, right? So I mean, wrestling and bodybuilding is the same thing. So Josh has got the vapors. Oh my lord. We've got root. I know.
Poor Max.
That's okay. Rudy Tatigwe says, "What's up, everyone? Driving home, waiting for the show to kick in. Hope you had a blessed Good Friday." Thanks, man. You too. Cajun says, "Kyle, I did get my comic in Monday. Haven't read it. Well, if you haven't read it, Cajun, what are you waiting for, my man? Come on,
Yeah,
you
it's
got to
like-
give him a good
It's
review."
just an ash can. It's like 6 pages. What the fuck?
No, I can't stand because he's pulling a Rippaverse. It's when people buy a Rippaverse comic and then they don't actually read it. And it's like, well, I have it. It's like, that doesn't
Yeah.
do anything. You have to read it.
All right.
No.
Then
I'm
you can
giving you a
hate
hard time though, Cajun. Then you can rip it and hate it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we've also got Jack Frost. What's up, man? He says, "Max, Ryan got some new stuff in." Oh, sweet. Found some Punishers in it. Well, thanks for putting them on hold, dude. He might even give them to you. Wow, I'm honored. Well,
I think it's
gotta
the
go,
Bicky Clunan Punisher run.
the what?
It's the Bicky Clunan Punisher run.
Oh no, I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, thank you so much, Jack. I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot, truly. So thank you. Jay Blue says, "Hi guys, I'm working overnight, and it's nice to hear the crew." Well, Jay Blue, I'm sorry you got to work overnight, but I'm stoked that you are listening to us, and we're very glad that you are here. So thanks for being here, man. Let's see. Oh, look who it is, Kyle, your biggest fan. He says, "Saw Kyle at C2E2, nicest guy at the con, and hooked it up with an alligator skin variant. Let's
Yeah,
go."
Hey, Kaiser, I got one for you. Just so you know, it's here.
Look at
This
that.
is yours. Last one.
Kaiser,
So-
he came through.
Follow through my promises.
Your man Kyle, he's holds true to his promises,
Mhm.
man of his word. I appreciate that. So Kaiser says, "My boy, you're my boy, Blue." Jack says, "No, it's stuff you would actually want." Oh, good. Yeah, we may not be able to understand you, Cajun, with that accent, but that's
Well, it's
all right.
nothing but compliments, I'm sure. So you know what?
Of course.
Fun.
Of course. So, well, before we get into our topics for tonight, I did say that it is Good Friday. So, before we get into like some more of the fun, one of the things that I think, we talk about comics and pop culture and TV shows and movies, but it all circles around this kind of idea of heroes and the hero's journey and what that means, and what bigger hero in our life and in our existence than Christ himself. And so for me, like I said earlier in the show, I wanted to at least talk about what Good Friday means, because there may not be people who know what it means or the significance. Everyone hears about Easter and kind of associated with the Easter bunny and chocolates, but there is a deeper meaning. And so I wanted to kind of share a little bit of it with y'all before we get into some of the more fun topics for tonight. Salty Traveling C says, "Happy Good Friday, lads." Well, thank you, Salty. Loved your Twitter post today, brother. I hope you're having a blessed day and hope you have a blessed weekend as well. So with Good Friday, I think the main thing is the crucifixion. And we find that Jesus was led to Golgotha, the place of the skull, and crucified on Good Friday. He hung on the cross for several hours, in which time he spoke several phrases, which are known as the last, they're the 7 last words. And these are taken from Luke and John, the books of Luke and John exclusively, where he says, 1, "Father, forgive them." 2, "Woman, behold your son." 3, my God, why have you forsaken me?" 4, "Today you will be with me in paradise." I'm on 5, "I thirst." 6, "It is finished." And 7, "Father, into your hands I entrust my spirit." Now, to me, the my God, why have you forsaken me" is probably the most impactful. And I think a lot of people kind of theologically debate what that means, because a lot of people say that he is fulfilling a prophecy from the Old Testament. But then, not only that, but he is also becoming fully man and having to detach himself from his Father, from God, in order to feel the weight of all sins of the universe. And when he does that, he does feel abandoned in that moment and does become fully human and apart from God. But because of that sacrifice is why we know that there is good news on Sunday when he is risen again. But that sacrifice is kind of the central theme in Jesus's death. And we as Christians believe that Jesus, being fully God and fully human, died on the cross to atone for our sins of humanity. And his death is seen as the substitutionary sacrifice, as the sacrificial lamb that taking on the punishment that we as humans deserve. But a lot of this is built into redemption, believing and understanding that redemption is possible through the crucifixion, atonement, the belief that Jesus's death is reconciled humanity to God. So our relationship with God would never have been possible if Christ did not come down to earth and sacrifice himself for us, which is why we have this beautiful relationship with God. And that this is really our foundation of the Christian faith. It's even said in historical context and historical, letters and oh, Kyle, you had sent me, what's his name? The guy who was on Joe Rogan not too long ago, and I'm blanking on the. He's so good. Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
He's so good, but Wes Huff. And he talks about how even in historical contexts that are not Christian, ones that are just merely pagan or merely, just atheist or even Jewish, it is still historically accurate that Jesus existed. And not only did he exist, but that he was in fact crucified with two other criminals or thieves at that time. So that is kind of our foundation of faith. But what kind of the real part of Christianity that's almost like otherworldly is not the fact that he died. Yes, that's a big part of it, but that he rose again on Sunday. And I think that's the really special part, because a man can die, but only our Savior, only Christ can come back from the dead. And then gratitude and humility, hope in suffering, and all of this is linked to Easter Sunday. So is there anything else that I may have missed, or anything else you guys may have wanted to talk about, or any one of the 7 sayings that he said while he was on the cross? I think another one that's really pertinent and one that's really impactful is "It is finished." It's so simple, but it's also something that's really impactful. But anything that you guys wanted to talk about, or anything I may have missed?
Not necessarily in terms of what you're saying. I will say, I don't know if you guys saw that they're doing Passion of the Christ too, focusing strictly on the resurrection.
Yeah, Mel Gibson coming back for that.
Yeah, so. Jim Caviezel as well. Like they're pulling people back, so it's
so
going to be interesting. Yeah.
And speaking of Christ, Angel Studios put out that animated film. I forget what it's called, and it's like crushing at the box office. Like the film was made with like 50 million, I think, which is, I mean, that's not a ton of money, but it's already made like 200 million or something. Like that's nuts. So yeah. So like if we are going to talk about like, whoa, Rachel Zegler, Snow White. I mean, that is one thing that we can talk about, is that this Christian movie from Angel Studios is just absolutely destroying the box office for Snow White, which is pretty cool. So,
and I think what's his name? Mark Hamill said something positive about it, and his Sims went crazy about it.
No, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he said something positive about it. I don't know how positive it was, but his Sims went after him for it.
Wow. That is surprising. So Salty says, being crucified after being offered and rejecting the whole world is a hell of a hero's arc. 100%, dude. Yep. That is truly the hero's journey. But what's also so fascinating is that a lot of Christ's disciples all wanted him to be the hero that we tend to want him to be, which is like, I'm gonna come down with a sword and kill all the enemies.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And which I'm like, let's go, right?
Yeah.
Especially in 2025, I'm like, man, there's some awful people. There's some terrible. We need a Punisher figure, and yet Jesus goes, well, no, I'm not going to come do that. I'm going to come here to die. It's like, oh,
That's kind of
shoot.
lame.
Well,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. So, let's see. Rudy says, preach, brother Max, preach. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Salty says the underpinning of why the Western world went to the moon and that desert PDF file thing is still blowing up in the sand. Harsh but accurate. Mel Gibson did an awesome podcast on Joe Rogan about the Resurrection movie. I did see Mel Gibson talking on Rogan. Did you guys watch that one?
Oh yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, he did one before that a few years ago. It was strange. He was talking about a medicine he was giving his dad, is all that for like an hour, and then he came back on this time and actually talked stuff that was relevant.
Oh, Codeman says Hamill voices King Herod in The King of Kings. Interesting. That makes more sense.
Yeah, he would be a villain. That makes sense. Okay.
I was about to say that. Okay, that tracks.
Yep.
No wonder he's so good in it, probably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jack confirming that. But wow. Salty says, don't forget Satan offered Jesus everything, the whole world, for one thing. Through Christ, we are blessed with everlasting love and life. Man, that puts everything into perspective. I hope so. So, oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I haven't really looked at the cast for the King of Kings, but dude, it's a cast.
It's
like you got, it's Oscar Isaac, Pierce Brosnan, Kenneth Branagh, Ben Kingsley, Mark Hamill, Uma Thurman, Forrest Whitaker.
What?
There's your 50 million right there. That makes sense. I'm like,
I was about to say.
50 million on.
So it's not even 50 million. Their budget was like 5. Oh, hold on.
Whoa.
I just had it. It was not a large budget.
5 million, not 50 million.
Hold on. Yeah, the animated faith-based film The King of Kings had a budget of 5 million.
Whoa.
No way.
Wow. So
I was about to say, like, if it were Robert Downey Jr., he'd be asking for all 5 million of that.
Oh yeah, of course.
To say 5 lines.
To say I am Iron Man or I am Jesus Christ, and then he would leave, and then that's nuts. That stacked of a cast for $5 million.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's unreal. Well, I mean, Angel Studios is really coming up. I think I had said last week that I went and saw Angel Studios The Last Supper. It was episode 1 and 2 of the 5th season, and I was shocked at the level of production value. Like, it looked very, very good, and it was well written. So the acting, for the most part, but it's like you still like it's like Christian. That's been something that's been tough for Christian productions since the dawn of time. It's like they just can't find the right people.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Fiend. There you go. That makes sense. That makes
Weird
sense.
tangent they threw in there. Yeah.
Yeah, art imitates life, doesn't it? How odd. So, all right. Well, now that we've kind of gone through some intros and the meaning of Good Friday, let's do some comment showcase. So I wanted to highlight some comments from the past few weeks. Rudy Tatigwe saying, always enjoying catching the show. They're not always able to make the live show. The rewind is always great. Keep it going. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Here's some comments from the member video. So if you guys want to join as a member, feel free to hop on there. Oh, this was funny. So I don't know if you guys remember, we did a response to Superman is not a conservative.
Oh,
I still get comments on this video because the guy who had posted the original video, it was like 3 minutes, and he basically just kept saying like, Superman is not a conservative because he's an immigrant from two Jewish men, and
that worked.
Kyle's like, that tracks. Yep,
that makes sense.
And then, like, you know, Superman stops a Confederate flag waving active shooter or something, and
good.
And he's like, which means that he's definitely not a conservative. And I'm like, okay. So we made a 30-minute video about this, kind of breaking down all these different reasons why Superman is neither a conservative or a liberal, and that he is a man of the people and man of Earth, but also a man of Krypton. But this comment says, I would not be talking all that shit when your video only has 45 likes compared to the original's 440 likes. I was like, damn.
That
I
just
guess he
justifies anything. What?
I was like, he got me. How do I, you know?
You can't have an
Oh,
opinion unless it has
Yeah.
more likes than something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Max, you got to end your channel.
Ugh,
Sorry,
dang
let me
it.
rephrase that. Sorry, Max, you gotta end your
Marginalized voices.
channels.
Don't matter.
yeah. I should just give up, guys. Like I
Yeah.
didn't get as many likes.
Mm.
So, but it's fine because the video that we have has about, or the original video that we responded to has about 10 times the amount of views that we do. So it's fine because then it's like it equals out to about the same amount of likes for the same amount of views. So I'm like, cool, man. You didn't actually talk about any of the points that we talked about, but go off, King. I mean,
Yeah.
do your thing, I guess.
It shows he didn't watch it.
It just means you didn't watch it. Wrecked. Yeah, damn, they got me, boys. Yeah, they got me good. Before we read any more, hail to Salty Traveling Sea for $5. Man, dude, thank you so much. He says, "Bye, Josh. A warm White Claw." With Josh, any rebuttal?
I've never had a White Claw in my life, so
Ooh, that's no way.
no, I've never had a White Claw.
Really?
Yeah,
What about a Truly's?
I've had a Truly before. I've never
Okay.
had a White
Close
Claw.
enough.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Salty, we'll make sure to get this this gay boy a warm Truly's. How about that? But thank you again for the 5, man. I really appreciate that. Means a ton. And let's play something something good.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
Yeah, thank you again, Salty. Love you, brother. Hope you're having a great, blessed Good Friday. So this was a comment from our last episode last week. This is Alan the Helldiver. Thanks for the comment, man. He says, those Rippaverse clothes look like shit. I'd rather wear one of those tacky wolf shirts.
Yeah,
That is exactly the type of shit I was referencing too when I mentioned the Walmart clothes.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right, Josh.
Oh.
Yeah. He goes, Eric's online engagement with people is as detrimental to his work as woke writers at the Big Tomb.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I've had a wolf shirt or two back in my day. And yes, I've noticed that too about the online engagement. It can be a real turnoff, and it makes you wonder where his focus is and if it's in the right place. So this is from Xbox Gamer. Man, he went in on the Rippa stuff. So this is a big comment. I won't read all of it, but I do want to thank you, Xbox Gamer, for the full, assessment. But this one really hit home. He goes, I think Eric just shows he doesn't like anyone who doesn't say his stuff is good.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like that in the 3D assets video where he called people NPCs and said that Cliff wasn't doing anything different from Alex Ross. So you're just trying to tear down Cliff. Yeah. Unreal, man. He was like, yeah, well, Cliff and Alex Ross are technically the same artist. And I'm like,
No.
His light
really?
boxing is the same as literally dropping a fucking 3D asset into a book and saying it's yours. Got it.
Like you can still see the polygonal, matrix on the truck in the warehouse and stuff. It's like, gotcha. So
just like Alex Ross does.
Totally Alex Ross, bro.
Both artists, man.
Yeah, them ho ass artists, man. AI is gonna take over. So all you artists
badly wants to
them
put artists in their place. Like he
Dude.
so badly fucking hates him so much.
I think he hates himself because he knows he's not creative, and he hates artists because he knows that they are creative.
Correct.
And so he's like, AI is gonna put you in your place, man.
Fuck you.
Yeah. But I basically said, like, hey, totally agree. The way that Eric seems to react to any criticism, especially the NPC comment, um, it's just cope. And for me, I kind of highlighted the fact that I still can't get over the Ma3D Assets T-shirt he made,
Yeah. Oh god.
because it's like, yo, that is like PR lesson number one. If people are posing legitimate concerns about your product and you make fun of them by making a shirt, go F yourself, man. Like, that is
Yep,
the
but it only confirmed how ignorant his followers are, because they're like, oh, serving it to the chuds. I'm like, nah, dude, we're making fun of you. Like,
Like,
Go
it's a
put
legit
your-
criticism. Like, do you not understand it? Like, it's not a joke.
go put
Yeah.
your kilt on and sit on your side of the corner, please. Thank you.
it's not very professional. In fact, it is extremely unprofessional, and it is it's pathetic behavior. It's childish behavior, because you're gaslighting your fans and you're making your sycophants believe this nonsense and making them pay for a shirt. Like, bro, you are a snake oil salesman. Like, that is what you're doing. You're selling these shirts that thinks that you're owning the chuds, but in fact, you're only just reinforcing our criticisms. So, this one. So I posted a I guess like just a thread on my channel that says, my expectations were low for the Daredevil show, but wow, this was pretty much pathetic. And I basically showcased Leroy, the therapy scene where she's like, oh, it was his hands, the little white tiger girl, giving Daredevil crap, and then the Funko Pop. And I was like, this is the Daredevil show, and in 4 images, right? And JD Petty, thanks for commenting. He says the Fangoria Funko Pop is more sparkly than the rest. So Fangoria, is that her name? What is Fangoria?
I don't know what Fangoria is.
Because I've only known her as Kamala Khan or Miss Marvel.
Is that a brand name?
Potentially.
I thought Funko was the brand. Funko Pop was like
Yeah.
the brand name.
I don't know. But Craig Adams says, finally someone that gets it. The show is trash. CXLA, thanks again for your comment, says, thank you for your sacrifice. You're welcome. I knew whatever little good news I hear about this show, it would end up disappointing. And then we've got our main man, MG, coming in here. And MG brought up some really good points in terms of, potentially reintroducing some really good comics to showcase, like, hey, to balance out the crap that we read, here's some really good stuff that we can show off. Because let's be real, in a lot of weeks, there's very few good books that come out. And the good books that do come out, we highlight, but sometimes it's not enough because you're kind of getting shoved the pile of crap, and then finding the one kernel of corn in there and highlighting it may not always be the biggest proponent of showcasing the good stuff. So MG kind of talks about that here. So once again, MG, appreciate your feedback, and I greatly and highly regard it as something that I want to implement. So we won't be doing it this stream because, as I said before, I'm kind of running off of ibuprofen and cough drops. But
Or
next
ever.
week.
You can go fuck yourself. How about you start your own show, you fucking asshole? I'm just kidding.
MG, you do it. You know what?
Yeah.
No.
Since you
None
know
of this-
everything, since
no.
you're so great and you know everything
Yeah.
and you're so smart, why don't you do it?
You want to highlight some Spawn
Yeah.
books? Do your own Spawn
Yeah.
channel. I don't care.
Yeah,
We
fuck
don't read
your
Spawn
whole
over
ass
here.
comic books, you bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Kyle. That's what I really wanted to say,
Mhm.
but I have to be professional.
Yeah,
I'm a
I'm gonna
businessman.
critique for critique.
Yeah. So I focus on my professionalism. And I'm going to focus on my YouTube videos. But Kyle, you can say whatever you want. So
Hell yeah.
This is one of those moments where we need one of those SpongeBob SquarePants, like, 20 minutes later. Like start off, it's Jesus. 20 minutes later. Fuck your whole ass spot books.
Exactly. It delves into territory that's, real quick. Just delves, goes right down the hole. Hey, wait till we get to female Silver Surfer. I'm gonna be dropping F-bombs like crazy. Kaiser says I like to say cosplaying instead of posing when it comes to the left. Yeah. Fangoria is the name of the Saska sister. Oh God.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, there you go. Look at that. Yeah, that might be it too. That might be it too, MG. I'm not sure. MG says Spawn has 3 good books a year spread across 15 titles.
That's true.
Well, then you find more good books. Let's see what you got coming to the table. No, I love it, man. It's always good to hear from you, and we love the comments. So thanks for interacting with us, because it's always good to hear.
No, I kind of like that idea. Like if we can pick like 2 or 3 bad books for that week, and if it's like an X-Men book, obviously, and something else, but we find a good X-Men story we can recommend, or a good X-Men issue to replace the shitty X-Men issue, or the Iron Man, whatever. I think that could be something interesting.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because we could basically say like, hey, this issue sucked, but instead go read this issue.
Right. Go read this back issue of X-Men. This is a really good issue. Yeah.
Totally. Or like, everyone keeps talking about right now. Everyone's like, oh, well, they, Silver Surfer, it's actually Shala Ball, Silver Surfer from Earth X, if you didn't know. And I'm like, dude, Earth X is a comic that not a lot of people read. Maybe somewhere, like it was really big, but I don't remember it being all that big. But if you really want to read a cool Herald of Galactus, go read Frankie Ray Nova, right? And so that's that kind of juxtaposition where it's like, sure, you could read Earth X, or you could go read the hundreds and hundreds of issues of really cool stories of Frankie Ray Nova.
Well, what's great about the Frankie Ray tragedy is that Johnny falls in love with her. He starts off as the hothead, ladies' man, then he falls in love with her, and then eventually she becomes the Herald of Galactus, and just falls out in just a tragedy in Johnny's life. The first time his heart's broken, and it's a great story, and unfortunately we're not going to get that.
Yeah, we will not be getting that. But I'll save my thoughts for the trailer in just a little bit. I also like that MG talked about how without Kyle and Drew, we would have never found Nottingham. We would have never found Echolands. And there was one other one. And then the live stream that we talked about, The Crow. He had never known about that comic, so he went after that and went and bought it and read it. So there you go. So cool stuff like that is pretty rad to hear when people are like, oh, I didn't know about that, and then they read it and they're like, this was badass. So kind of like when we made Josh read Nottingham, and then it ended up being in his top 5 of the year. So it was good.
It was on number 2, number 3.
It was up there.
Yeah,
it was up there. But we've got Kaiser Jose for $5 coming in hot. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the 5. Kaiser, you got to save your money for paying Kyle so that sweet foil.
No, it's not cheap, bucko.
No.
That's $100.
Oh, come on. Give him the friend price. Give him 90.
All right.
So
plus $10 shipping.
Or if you're Eric July, $35 for shipping.
Well worth it.
Yeah, I'll pay for a poster that's $2, but pay $25 for shipping, plus tax, making it a $30 purchase.
Hell yeah!
Woo. So Kaiser for $5. He says, now that Bad Idea will be widely available, are we adding Bad Idea books to the pull list? I think I have to. They have Venditti and Kent. So Kaiser, if you look at, I want to say, what was it, guys? Like maybe 2-3 weeks ago that we talked about this. We had a whole segment on Bad Idea books because they're releasing that new, that new Matt Kent and Robert Venditti book.
Colonial
Plus,
Space Ranger Marines. Yeah.
Planet
wasn't
Death?
it like
Planet Death? What the fuck?
Planet
something like
Death.
that?
Yeah.
Or are they doing like a digital pin too or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're weird. I don't
Well, it's
Yeah.
funny. Their COO came by the booth, and I got a copy of the newsprint of that issue. They were passing out.
No.
Like, again, it looks good. The product
Yeah.
looks good. It's supposed to be good, but there's
Totally.
just something about it that I don't know what it is. It's like something's missing, like heart or it's like it has everything there to be an actual comic book and be really good. But I don't know. I just get a weird feeling about it.
Do you think it's just their sleazy practices
It might be.
of like publishing and
don't know.
promoting and stuff like
But
that?
none of their books are long-term series. All of them are mini-series, if that. Everything they've done has been one-shots or 5 issues at the most, I think. Nothing really longer. And
But I think that's. Oh, sorry, Drew. I didn't mean to cut you off.
and when they do come out, they only release the books sporadically. There's nothing is really released on the regular.
I think that's their gimmick. The gimmick is first issues. Is just another series, another issue 1, another new creative team. And so they don't have ongoings because they can't fund that. I mean, they have billions of dollars from their, CEO, but like he's a tech bro who's funding this marketing company essentially. So, but yeah, so Kaiser, it's tough to say. I don't know if I will be adding it to the pull list. I did back the campaign like a year ago, I think when it first came out, because they had a hardcover or something of the Planet Death. So I was like, we'll get it. And then,
Max, you're gonna need to start consulting with us before you back any book.
Shit, dude.
Hey, that's why on our last segment, I said, I was like, guys, I need y'all as my consultants. I need you to make sure that you tell me, because there was like a Joe Quesada cover and it was like a wraparound or something. And I was like, I want it, but it was like a 1 in 500. And you guys were like, don't buy it. Do not buy that stupid crap. And I was like, but it's so cool. So
Kyle, we need to come up with a code. We've got the check for whenever Max says gay shit. We need something for when he like does stupid shit.
When I'm about to buy something really bad.
Like maybe we just say high five in a retarded voice. Hey, high five.
There we go.
Check. High five.
High five.
Well, there you go. There you go, chat. If you ever see Josh and Kyle do a little check mark, it means that I'm doing something gay.
You brought up bodybuilders in the 90s with oil on them. It doesn't get gayer than that. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm just saying, if we're talking about wrestling, it's the same exact thing, except one is just performative and the other one is a sport. So, but yes, both are kind of gay.
I would say they're both.
Okay.
They're both performative sports. But yeah.
100%. Yes, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, no, I think it started in Dallas where we were like about to go to breakfast and I was just kind of like in like frumpy, lazy clothes. And we were like, oh no, we're going to go out. And so I go, oh crap. All right, well, I'm going to go change then. And Josh and Kyle were like, that's pretty gay, man. Like, just come out. Like, why would you change? And I was like,
I think we were going to like breakfast or something.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, I just want to look good, man. Like, I just, why would I wear something?
Who are you trying to impress, bro? It's like you're not going to a job interview.
You looked fine. You were in like a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah,
it wasn't like you were in pajamas. Like you already looked normal.
Yes.
But I was like, no, I'm still going to put on my best. Which, funny enough, we saw one of my old Marine Corps gunnery sergeants there.
What are the odds of that?
Exactly. Yeah. So, but because I did that, these guys started doing the check mark. And we're like, no, for everything that you do that's gay, it's going to be another check. So.
But you're forgetting what preceded you saying, I'm going to go change clothes. And it was you discussing the design choices of the Airbnb.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so you went into this whole spiel about how the colors don't flow as well as they should have, and then they should have done these colors instead of this.
Move and this like, over here.
Yeah, and then Kyle's just looking at me smiling, and I'm like, yeah, no, I know, bro. Like, and then we're like, well, let's go get breakfast. You're like, oh, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go change clothes. And we're like, like what,
bro?
So we love you, Max. We love you.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you do. It's all love. I feel it. So, but yeah, the more checks I get, the closer I get to being gayer than Josh. So
Closer. You know what?
I'm already there. I'm already past it.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say because
No,
Jesus loves you.
no. Well, thank you. MG says Eric's books have to be worth more than Bad Idea.
Ooh, man, I don't know.
Like if I were to resell a Bad Idea book as opposed to an Eric July book, would I get my return on investment on that, Bad Larry?
That is a whole episode we'd have to do. We have to do some deep dives.
Yeah.
Damn.
That would take we'd have to hire someone as a producer backstage, just going on eBay and finding all everything.
Man,
for
that's
us.
a lot of data. Although
Yeah.
Eric, I don't know how many sales he actually has as far as eBay sales to track, but
Yeah.
man, that
Speaking of eBay sales, have you guys been seeing all the Shala Ball Earth X first appearance that's been going for like $200?
yeah, I bought mine for 200.
Woo!
I'm gonna sell
Can't
it low,
miss.
baby. Sell it low. Woo!
Buy it high, sell it low.
Sell it low. Love it.
What a bunch of idiots. Sorry,
What?
but
No, it's not. It's smart.
I'm speculating. I'm a
Yeah.
specker. I'm a prospector.
Yep, I knew it.
So Kyle, if you had Ripiverse shorts, you'd understand.
No, that's true.
I don't know.
Who's to say I don't?
Aaron Sparrow's in the chat. What's happening, brother? Great to see you. He says, just back Neil before Doomface. Even harder. That's true. If you guys want to back Neil before Doomface, the link is in the description of this video. So, it's not gay to have taste, Max. Well, thank you, Aaron. See, a man who understands
Yeah,
someone
but the
who
way you convey said taste is
He also came back down in a t-shirt with a broken heart on it. That's all.
literally
No,
one
no.
of the gayest things I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
I was like, what are we doing? We're getting like, what are we...
when I'm
I
like,
think Max was convinced he was gonna find his lady in Texas. He's like, I'm here. I've got to try to see if it can happen naturally.
He wanted a reason to stay. He's like, oh, this is
Yeah, I'm looking for a reason to stay.
yeah, the broken heart means I'm single. I'm like, I'm looking for the one that can put it back together. You know, some sappy stuff like that. So, at least people talk about Bad Idea. When's the last time you heard anyone mention distillery? Yeah, that's actually a good point. I mean, Josh
Robbie
does
talked about
mention
Every now and
Rock
then.
Robbie, but Josh talks about distillery on his show every now and then. So
Every once in a while, like one in every 10 books, I'll be like, hey, this one was all right.
yeah. This is kind of the thing though, Kaiser, and I'm in agreement with you here. When Bad Idea stories, you know, they're not terrible. They're suitable. They're fine. The art for me is what elevates the medium for Bad Ideas specifically. They highlight the art more than anything. But that business model, the marketing strategies and the practices that they have are garbage.
Agreed. Again,
So-
they have the right components. They should make amazing books. And a lot of times, like ENIAC is still one of my favorite stories. It's great. Tankers.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of fucking
Dude,
fun.
Tankers, yeah.
And it's just, there's just something about them that I just can't get over. I'm like, how do you fuck this up? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's really impossible. And you
Yeah.
do. And it's so bizarre. There needs to be a Netflix documentary about them later on as to what the fuck this actually is and how you screw this up.
That'd be interesting, yeah. Because I mean, I'd love a documentary on like how Image was created. You know, these like 20-year-old dudes in the 90s who were just like, let's do our own thing, man. You know, some innovators and some of the best talent in the industry. But doing something like that would be fun. But then watching Bad Ideas documentary, like you said, there would be so many times where you'd be like, how did you get that wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What did you do?
Yeah.
Like, that's so weird. What was the zombie one with the clowns or shooting clowns or something? What the fuck was that book?
What? You talking about the Demon Hunter when they're Monster Kill Squad?
Kill Squad.
Yeah.
Monster
Again,
Kill
cool
Squad.
concept. Great
Cool
art.
Great
but-
art.
Again, it just goes away.
It
It's just
didn't-
like,
yeah.
and that's it.
And that was that.
Yep.
And we can't forget that it's also printed on like some of the best quality paper I've ever touched in my life. So
Yes. True.
right here, MG Shala Ball books won't be worth $2 after the movie bombs, even if
Bullshit.
the movie does well. they'll still be $2.
Oh, they're only gonna go up, my man. I don't think so. It's gonna fucking to the moon.
to the moon, boys.
I'm riding it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Ah.
Listen, if you guys can give me crap for buying bad idea books, I can give Kyle crap for buying hype spec books, okay, or foil books, or reprints of Batman #1. That
I'm not planning on selling them. It'd be different if I was trying to sell them for a profit. I'm keeping them for me. Are you ever going to own a Batman #1? I don't think so. But to be able to have it in its original newsprint is pretty fucking cool.
Original newsprint is different than reprinted.
That's what Detective Comics at 27 I have. It's all original newsprint. It's printed on just like it was back then. I'm never going to own
but it's not the original pages of the. I think when you say original, it gets.
No, the interior of the book is printed on old newsprint, just like Detective Comics 27, original ads and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm never going to own that book.
So the next best thing is just a reprint.
Exactly.
It's not that expensive. I mean, come on, Kyle.
Yeah.
But when he does it, what was the, did you get you got the gold foil one too, though? That was like $50 or $100.
It was not I did not pay $100 for that.
Oh.
I paid
we
90.
We did pay a pretty penny for Transformers. Sorry, what was the last thing?
I pay what I pay, all right?
Oh.
Don't judge me.
Yeah, leave foil books out of this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh wow. I real quick, I do want to highlight. We've been talking about comics a lot and new books and stuff like that. So about a year ago, the gentleman on our left, from the Comic Book Palace was kind of attacked online, and he's still going strong. I watched his video this week and it was hilarious, man. He's still at it. So they basically talk about the books that come out for this week, and they talk about like which series they enjoy, which they're not. And it just feels so much more genuine and authentic than like a Rockin' Robbie. There are some takes that Rockin' Robbie does and I'm like, sure, okay, that seems legitimate. But these guys are just the most down to earth as possible. Like they were talking about the Daredevil Elektra, and they're like, why is Daredevil a girl? And they're like, because it's Marvel, and Marvel has to have a guy version and a girl version. That's just what they do, right? They're just these two guys who own the comic shop, and it's always fun to watch them. So I highly recommend going to check out the Comic Book Palace. But Glenn O'Leary is the gentleman here who basically came out a while ago and voiced his opinion, and everyone like hated him for it. And it was like, dude, chill. Like he's speaking facts, and what he said wasn't even that like detrimental. But
no,
I would say if anyone wants to watch us call out Robbie on his BS and have a good time at it, watch last week's video, and we had a good time laughing because we knew he was full of shit.
That's right. Yeah, Drew. I was surprised, Drew. You got you got heated. I like seeing that part of you come out. Because when you see someone who's like lying, I think you get passionate. And you're like, this is such BS,
Yes. But when we've seen what he's done, we've seen what he's said in the past, and we know when he's full of shit. And I know he's full of shit when he said that stuff last week.
Well, let's move into some news that's been going on this morning. We actually got another look behind the scenes at Superman. We have the new trailer for Fantastic Four that we're going to review. And then we'll talk about Daredevil, the penultimate finale episode. And we'll talk about our kind of overall thoughts of the season as a whole. But because this is all news, I think this deserves our news segment. So let's get right into it. So coming in first, did anyone watch this Superman trailer that dropped this morning?
Fuck yeah, dude. It got me hyped as shit.
So did it actually, or are you taking a piss?
Fuck no.
You didn't like James Gunn's Superman?
No.
Did you guys actually get that this film is being lauded as like not Superman, but like James Gunn Superman?
Is James Gunn presents James Gunn as James Gunn with
As
James
James
Gunn's
Gunn.
dog. Yeah.
No, it's a jack off session for him. He's just loving hearing people talk about how great he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
That's really what it is. At least
I-
that's what I got. I have
love that-
clicked
yeah, I
on
love-
3 random spots in this video, and all 3 images have been James Gunn. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now. So
I love that where he says like, I'm trying to figure out how to crack that, what take I should have, and it's like I can just see him saying, "Wait, he's me." And
yeah. Mhm. I've now clicked on 4 different random spots in this video, and it's another still image of James Gunn. Can I do 5? Oh no, I didn't get it on the 5th one. Let's try
On
another.
Superman Day? Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, here's what I will say though. David Cornsweat's kind of growing on me. I still hate the suit. I mean, I like the colors, but I'm not a fan of the suit. But David Cornsweat looks really good. I think. I think
Easy.
I'm sure.
Easy.
I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's great, but I don't buy him as Superman. Clark, yeah, I can absolutely. He's got that
Okay.
shitty broccoli hair thing going on. It's like, okay, that makes sense. But Superman, no, it doesn't work for me.
I still think that's the suit more than anything causing that problem, though. The suit just doesn't look good.
No. It's
doesn't.
really wrinkly.
Weird.
Well,
It's- yeah.
you know, there when you do certain lines, it makes your body. I did like the image of. I saw the image of Metamorpho that I thought looked awesome.
Yeah,
Like I'm
That's
down.
cool.
I love
Yeah.
Rex as a character. I think
cool.
he's a great character. So
Yeah.
agreed.
but yeah, just the suit, like it does really weird things that it doesn't show how bulky David actually is. Like he put on a shit ton of muscle for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when the artist interpretations of his character are more bulky than he is in the film. Like you look
Yeah.
at Jim Lee's design of him, it's like, oh, why can't he look like that? Please.
But it's also where they have lines on the suit. Like they have lines kind of coming across here, which cuts his chest. Like it puts weird lines on his chest. So it makes his chest look really small, but then it makes his stomach look big. Not that he's got like a gut. It just, when you put lines on clothing in certain areas, it's going to do really weird shit like that. So,
Just looks like a
And-
wetsuit. Looks like a crappy wetsuit.
I mean, that too. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Hot Girl?
Sure.
That's dumb. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think
I'm not a fan.
it looks like CW. I really don't like it.
It did.
I mean, a
That's,
lot
you
of
know
this
what?
looks like CW.
Yeah.
That
Honestly,
tracks. Yeah.
Tyler looks better as Superman than David does.
Yes.
I would agree with
100%.
that. Yeah.
Even his golden age costume when he's wearing the original costume in the
Yeah.
first episode, that looked fucking great compared to this.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Thanks, my mom made it." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah."
That is like the
yes.
best Superman moment in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
That one scene.
Mhm.
That guy has more charisma, I think, than Dave. The problem is with this also, you start out with Christopher Reeve and you see the Christopher Reeve smile in
Oh,
the Superman's, and it's just like, dude,
yeah.
you're never going to live up to that. Like,
Well, this is part of
watch-
the problem
Look at that.
too.
I mean, the smile, like, God, like you have that, and it's like,
what have we
Yeah.
actually seen of David Cornsweat though?
exactly my point.
Not
You've
a
only seen it as
damn thing.
beat up
Yeah.
fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Well, we've
Why,
seen
why
him
do,
make-
why do we
we've seen
think that is?
Well, we've
I
seen him
don't
in
know.
Norman
Why
Metropolis.
haven't we
It's being
seen any?
destroyed.
He's a like even just the actor, like Showcase, he's a charming guy. And
Yeah.
he's
Like,
super
when I
down. Like this is his first like really major thing. Like look, he's got dimples. Look at him.
Yeah,
Like
right? Show that smile. Like, that's what I want to see.
here's the
Well,
thing.
like, yeah,
David
no, sorry.
Cornsweat and Rachel Brosnahan both have so much just I almost said chemistry, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Charisma. They both just
Mhm.
genuinely have so much charisma. If you would just put them out front and center, people would be interested in this.
Yeah. But
So-
instead of toting James Gunn because DC and Warner Brothers are bad decision makers, and they think that by saying like, "Hey, we got the Guardians guy, we got the Suicide Squad guy, like you guys like him, right? Like he did all
Yep.
this, like we've got him." Instead of saying, guys, we've got these two. Because if they were selling the movie off of these two, I'd be so much more down. Like,
Agreed.
I get it. James Gunn is James Gunn, and James Gunn will James Gunn James. But like this, their charisma, their chemistry together, and just they just genuinely feel like they fit the roles and the characters, and that they want to do well. I'm sold on these two, but I don't know, man. Like I'll play I don't know if this will get me struck because Warner Brothers is really
They're super.
yeah, so let me see if I can at least play a little bit.
James Gunn we trust, and I think we can do it.
See, even when they have her talking, in James Gunn we trust, it's like, I don't care about him. Tell me about Lois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put the focus on the character of Superman, not just from the film, just what the character of Superman represents. If you put a focus on your lead actors and just who they are naturally, I think you would get more stuff. And if they were like, hey, and it doesn't hurt that we've got James Gunn helming this, he understands comics, he loves comics, people would probably I think you saw people be like, I don't know, is he gonna James Gunn it? But it's like they've gone so far to the other extreme now of like, oh my god, it's James Gunn, like he just walked on water. Like, what? No, that was just a puddle on the sidewalk, man. Like, no, he didn't.
But let's not forget about what we heard. Like, it could be true about the story beats in this film. The things that are potentially will be happening. It's just, you can't forget about that.
When shoot, not Perry, when frickin' Jimmy finds the access codes to get Superman out of the Phantom Zone from a nude from Lex Luthor's girlfriend. Like, it's like, what?
Was it Tessmacher or was it Mercy? Was it? I forget.
Tessmacher.
Tessmacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's gotta be fake. But then when you read those leaks, you go like, no, that makes sense. Like, that totally tracks with the trailer, with what we've heard. So I mean, it
also makes sense from like a Jimmy Olsen 60s comic type thing too. Though. So you're like, and it that's the kind of weird shit that James Gunn would pull out of his ass. Like, so you're 100%. Like, okay, like I can kind of see this being in the film, and I'm scared shitless now.
Yeah, this was in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 42. Remember when this happened? It's like,
oh no,
what? So what?
And they're like, only real comic fans will get this, and it's like, sure, but like, and this is what I think these production companies get so fundamentally wrong, is that they will do all these little like callbacks or these little like Easter eggs that make all the fanboys on YouTube go nuts, and all the YouTube or all the Marvel shills and DC shills just go like, in the 30-second mark, you'll see that the Easter egg from issue 47. It's like, no one cares, man. If they can't get the character fundamentally right, then it's not going to be a good film. No one cares about the Easter eggs if it's not the essence and the core of the story. So
yeah, you can't say he symbolizes hope, and you first see him beaten to shit and then screaming like a little girl when he gets rays of sun unto him to heal himself. Like, okay, that's your hopeful Superman, everybody. That's America.
Look up, everyone. He's oh wait, no, he's okay.
He's screaming like Aaron Carter. Yay.
Yep.
Aaron Carter. The fuck?
Yeah, there was a scene on The Soup that they play over and over again with Aaron Carter would scream like, ah!
Yeah.
Just
dude, I love The Soup. I gotta look that up. I don't remember.
Wait, The Soup with Joel McHale, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Do you remember that clip? Adventure in a whole new universe.
All right, well, at least
he looks good. So
there was a good shot. Why can't they show more of that?
Yeah. Go back.
Look at that. There you go.
That looks like Superman.
Suit. That looks good.
Still a bad suit.
Yes.
But it looks like Superman. But okay, see, look at these lines. This is what I'm talking about. It cuts his chest off, right? And then it also diminishes his shoulders. So whatever mass you use, that you lose that visual look. I don't know. He's got lines that come down his torso as well that just
they're trying to accentuate his shoulders, but in doing so, they actually make it look like he's just got padding in them.
Yeah.
And then what
Yeah.
you're saying, Josh, is down here, the chest cuts it in half because it goes
Pretty
down
much.
to but there was another shot that really makes you go, oh man, these like shoulder pads here do not
Oh, there you
make
go.
it
That's a
look
good
too
shot.
good. Like this is a good shot of him and Lex. I think they look good together. But when you see Superman holding up the car,
Oh yeah.
let's see, is it maybe we missed it. A lot of James Gunn in here. In fact, the trailer actually opens up to, yeah. See, look at this. Look at this. That should
How
not.
loose it
This
is.
stuff
A
here,
lot of baggage.
a lot of bagginess. It's like an ill-fitted. Yeah.
He was like the stunt man for Superman.
Yeah. Look at, see,
That's
these
weird.
shoulder pads are like they're sticking out.
Looks like armor.
I mean,
They're trying to do the
definitely
new
going-
52
Yeah,
thing.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say they're definitely going for that new 52 look.
And then look at this. Oh, look at the bunch up.
Yeah.
It really does look like a wetsuit.
Yeah.
It's sad when George Reed
Neoprene.
in the 1950s looks better than him, Superman.
Yeah, and this dude worked out a lot, and he got jacked for this, and you can't even tell. I'd be fucking pissed.
I'd be
I'd-
pissed too. I'd be like, you better go find me the tightest piece of fucking spandex or
Mhm.
like
Or at
Under
least let me-
Armour type material and make it Superman because
Yep.
Let me have a naked scene. Let me come out of the water like Henry Cavill
Yeah.
does in Man of Steel when he's like, he's all hairy chested and got his
Oh,
beard
yeah.
and he's like running out of the water and everyone starts, all the movie theaters start getting flooded.
and I also Max because he's like 6'4", 6'5", and it's not easy for guys that big to put on proportional like mass.
It's
Like
tough.
they usually look weird, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ooh, Zax, this is a good question. Josh, what do you
I
think?
mean, if you take the comment away, you can kind of see what he's referring to. I mean, guys have penises. You're gonna have a bulge there. Like I don't know. We'll see.
I think they should have put a cup there.
I remember
Yeah.
Burt Ward on the Batman 66. He had such a large package, he had to do whatever they could to tuck it down. Yeah, put padding in it to make it look smaller.
Especially with those little shorty shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I think.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I heard more about what's his name from Superman Returns. What's the Superman Returns?
Brandon Routh?
Brandon Routh. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that.
Oh,
So
Oh.
interesting.
I think when it comes to like superhero outfits, just to kind of make everything look in proportion, you almost kind of have to have a cup because there's gonna be some. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna.
I'd say you
No.
really want to keep going
I
with
was like, I'm not gonna talk about this. Zax, if you want to talk about this, go message Josh. You guys
say
can
it.
talk.
Say it. What were you gonna say, Max? What were you gonna say? I genuinely have no idea what you're gonna say. But
I was just gonna say it probably just looks better because I feel like with a suit, it's gonna be just more form fitting, and so you want something that's going to be, I don't know,
a little voluminous down there. Is that what you're saying?
something that looks like it's from the comics.
Are you pulling a hashtag draw attention to the trunks?
I mean, the trunks do look good.
The trunks look they're a little too high waisted for me, but sure.
At least what they did do with the new 52 suit, they put like armor on the package area, and I was like, why? It looks
Smart.
very odd.
It's
So
where he's the most vulnerable. Makes sense.
yeah, I guess you're right. So the question that I've got for you gentlemen though after seeing now the Fantastic Four trailer and the kind of behind the scenes of Superman stuff, which do you have more hope for, and which will make more money?
Neither. Honestly,
Neither will make more.
after seeing more of the Fantastic Four trailer and reading the Entertainment Weekly article and seeing more from the Superman film, I've honestly got my want to see these films has diminished. I'm more excited for 28 years later than both of these films.
That does look good. The trailer got me. That's for sure.
Mhm.
What's happening, Cannoli? He says, I really want this movie to be good, but I'm going in with severe caution. I've been reading a lot of Superman comics lately just to prep.
Oh,
It's good to hear, man.
Should probably read
Yeah.
less. Oof.
Oh, gosh. Well, the more Superman comics you probably read, the more you're probably not going to like the movie.
He's gonna be pissed off.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good to see you, Cannoli. Thanks for being here, brother. Hope you're enjoying Vegas. And sorry we can't be there with y'all. So, but Drew, just to kind of finalize your thoughts, though. So I know you're not excited for either one, but do you think one will make more money?
I think Fantastic Four will make more money than Superman. I think that's
Really.
yeah. And there's no
Okay.
doubt about that.
Why do you say that?
Because just Marvel's more of a trusted brand than DC and Marvel. People know Marvel. I mean, kids know Marvel, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like the crypto effect will be a thing. I think crypto will be a large factor of why there's a lot of kids going to go see Superman. Besides David Cornsmith or James Gunn, but there's something that just the Fantastic Four. I think there'd be a lot more families, a lot more teenagers and such seeing that film than Superman.
So, do you think the brand of Superman? Because when I think of the Superman movie, I think of the brand of Superman, not so much the brand of DC. But when I think of Fantastic Four, I think of Marvel, the brand, and Marvel, the brand, has been severely damaged. I mean, Daredevil isn't even on the charts.
DC's right there with them. DC couldn't get off the ground after like multiple attempts. Like the faith that people had. Here's the thing: Marvel at least received good faith from fans for a while. And I think there's still a hope that they'll get it back. And you have glimmers of like, oh, we're kind of moving in the right direction. Oh, kind of doing this. Whereas DC hasn't shown us anything. The
one thing that had me in on the Fantastic Four was the fact that we're actually getting I'm not going to say a comic accurate Galactus, but as close as we're going to get to a comic Galactus. In the films, which I am excited about, and that's about it at this point. I mean, the more I'm seeing of the film, I am lost interest in Johnny Storm. I've lost interest in Ben. I really don't want to see it for Reed. Stu, maybe.
Here's my question for you: has what you've seen from the clips made you lose interest, or what you've read in these articles and interviews made you lose interest?
What I saw in the latest trailer has diminished my want to see this film. And after reading the Entertainment Weekly article, I'm like, I'm getting nervous about this film. I really don't.
Here's what I'll say about the interview. I purposely don't read interviews. I don't want to read interviews. I don't even listen to the interviews. You want to know why? Because there's a PR person telling them that they have to say A, B. Like literally, there's a PR person like 2 to 3 feet away from them, and they've got their pad, and they're literally like feeding them what to say. That's how those press junkets go. And if you look back at so many of these films, everything that we've heard in these press junkets was so like, we're going to say this PC term here because that's what, whatever. And then so much of that isn't fully even in the films. Like, it's like if you had never said any of those things, no one would be focused on these topics. And then they probably wouldn't have even like cared. I'll throw Eternals as an example. Like, there was all this shit coming out of the media and PR from Eternals leading up to it that everyone was freaking the fuck out about. Whatever, the race bends, the sex changes. At the end of the day, like, it didn't no one cared about Eternals. It didn't matter. The worst thing about the Eternals was it was a boring fucking film. That was the worst thing. But everyone was so worried about this whole like, we're gonna have this message, and none of that was in there. I mean,
But
you
it
had
was
a gay character, like a gay couple.
it was going to save lives, though, Josh.
But that's my point. Like they
Right.
spent so much time. You literally had weeks of that narrative getting shoved down your throats, and you saw the movie, and it was just like, what was supposed to save lives? That you cast a black person as a gay male?
They
Like,
did the
well-
same thing with Game of Thrones. The woman who was playing one of the queens in the most recent series, she was like, "It's about time that we let a woman run the kingdom," or like some dumb, whatever. And then in the show, there's like none of that. Or if there was some of it, it followed the actual storyline and it made sense for that character to say something like that. So
Right.
it was like, okay, so this is just an ideological dumb bimbo who doesn't know her character, who doesn't know what she's talking about, and who wants to make this some activist like BS. But in the show, it's completely different, and the writers didn't have any intention of doing that.
And even if it's there at like 5%, not this like 95. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there aren't issues. I'm just saying I purposely try to avoid interviews for that very thing.
Yeah.
But I will say, going back to that interview, I mean, we're clearly on the Fantastic Four right now. But the actor playing Johnny, what he said his portrayal with Johnny Storm is going to be, I'm just like, okay, this is not Johnny at all whatsoever, what you've just said. And what I saw in the second trailer really reflects what he had said in that interview. And I'm like, I don't like this approach to Johnny Storm. I don't dig this. This is not him. And that's a big warning sign for me.
And I think that's fair. I think, I have not read the article, so I can't say for sure what you may be talking about or what you saw in the trailer that then resonated with the interview. But just on the trailer, the newest trailer that we saw, we'll go over it in just a second. I am now more cautious and I'm more hesitant, which sucks because the first trailer I really dug.
Yeah, me too.
Like I was really into it. So in fact, I was probably more hopeful for Fantastic Four than Superman in terms of my own enjoyment. And I didn't even read the article, so I don't know. I know Perch had made either a video or he made a post where Perch was like, hey, no one said anything of weird, like liberal activist, like nonsense in the interview. I didn't watch it, so I don't know what, like I said, he was talking about, but I think it was a post where he was like, she just said something regular. I don't know. So, but then again, Perch has been wrong before, which is fine. We're all right and wrong.
We all know his take on Arby's and how wrong he is on that. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess then with the previous question I asked, Kyle, do you think that Superman or Fantastic Four will do better? Or sorry, excuse me. I think the question that I asked earlier was like, which one are you more excited to see, and which one is going to make more money?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of almost all in agreement. I think Fantastic Four will make more money just because of branding. Marvel, too many normies as normal who are just not in the know and just know Marvel at this point.
Sure,
don't give a shit about any of this crap. Have any idea what's going on, and we'll just go see Marvel product. Whereas I don't think DC has any of those fans anymore. If they did, they're all long gone or dead. So
it's Snyder fans,
they have nothing.
Yeah, I was about to say DC is also very divided within their DC fandom.
Yeah,
like, there is a whole movement. Yeah. There's a whole movement that wants Superman to fail.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Which is just really stupid. It's like,
it is.
Can you imagine how crazy this fucking summer would have been? We're getting Superman and Fantastic Four. I mean, holy shit. You want to talk about like just cool time to be a comic book nerd? I mean, that's insane.
And Jurassic Park.
Dinosaurs.
Whatever. Yeah, if it was 1994, absolutely great.
And Thunderbolts, guys. Asterisk.
Yeah. Asterisk.
And Ironheart.
In June.
That
Disney Plus.
Sure, that's around. So yeah, all these things that are helping. But no, I think the fact that I know the Superman script was quote unquote leaked. I don't know how accurate, even if that's 50% accurate, that movie will fucking suck. So I don't know. Has anything leaked as far as Fantastic Four is concerned? Anything about script
Not that I know.
anything on
Not
Reddit?
really. They've kept it pretty close to the chest.
See, so we can only take what we know, and the fact that we're going into Superman now knowing that some of that might actually be true, I mean, that's going to taint everything for that movie.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good for Superman.
I mean,
at
even
this
though they're
point.
saying it's, this is the start of the new era, you have to keep in mind that James Gunn was pushing Flash hard when it came out and was saying it's the best superhero film he's seen, which I get was just company talk
He
trying
had
to
to
build
say
it
that.
up.
He was toeing the line. Yeah.
But there's other things you could say to toe the line.
Right.
And then he felt so strongly in a positive way about Blue Beetle that actor and Jaime Reyes as a character is moving forward with his plan. So it's just like, yeah, man, I'm not feeling so great about this.
Yeah.
These are all really good points. Cannoli comes in and says, do you remember the days when you used to get excited for summer blockbuster movies? Yeah, it seems like such a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really trying to remember like what else big blockbuster wise is coming out this summer outside of 28 years later that I'm really looking forward to seeing.
It's How to Train Your Dragon and well, actually, I'm hearing from people that they're saying this is the best animated to live action that they've ever seen. And
that's a heavy bar they're crossing over.
But yeah, I mean, there hasn't been greats, but it was also in the context of like, hey, Disney, this is how you should fucking do it. So we'll see.
Do you think
Lilo and Stitch looks like it's going to be a shit ton of fun? Like, I think that's actually going to be the movie of the year.
It does look like it's going to be a fan favorite. The CGI for Stitch looks pretty good, and I think it's probably going to make $1 billion. Like, it'll make a good chunk of money. Now the question is, will How Do You Train Your Dragon do as well? And I think it will do really well.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of the animated films, so I have no like stakes in that fight. To me, they both look good.
I've seen How to Train Your Dragon. I've seen that. It was good. It was cute. It was a fun movie.
The faggot that's inside of me is thinking two things: Stitch. I kind of love him already, and I want some Stitch stuff. And then Toothless seems like a really cool dragon.
If there's one thing I have seen and known with my two eyes, it's the amount of women and young girls who love Stitch.
Okay, I don't want Stitch anything then. That's too gay.
Well, it's gonna be it's Baby Yoda.
It's Baby Yoda, yeah.
It's the same exact thing.
I can see that.
It's Baby, yeah. It's just
Even Stitch being like a little shit, like the little clips that you've seen of him just being a little terror.
Yeah,
to me, it seems like it's fun.
And then he learns the love of family. Ohana means family.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I get it. Ha ha ha.
It's those big eyes. It's just girls, women, they love those big eyes, and it's gonna draw them in.
Is that how you get a woman, Drew? Do I just have to go like this all the time to women? Hi.
The Jeff Goldblum thing? No. Thanks.
Good luck.
Yep.
I will say on the DC front, though, like you can tell that Warner themselves are getting nervous because at CinemaCon they didn't discuss anything else DC related except for an animated.
Yeah, because they know we know, and we know that they know that they know that we know that they have $350 million invested into this damn movie, and that is truth. We saw in their damn tax return when they had to film it in Cleveland
that they lied about.
Yeah, and if this doesn't break $1 billion, we're not getting the Gunverse, and we're only maybe getting Supergirl unless they put that on the show for a tax credit.
That's a good point. Because gosh, if Superman doesn't do well, then their quote unquote first steps, even though Fantastic Four is first steps, are gonna stumble, and they're not really gonna have a foundation for what they're trying to build their universe on.
And I think that's why they're waiting on Batman too. That's probably another thing to see what happens here. Like if it doesn't do well, all right, Matt Reeves go and continue with the Batman thing.
Well, Matt, I believe, is going through some really difficult personal stuff right now. That I don't even. I've not like. It's so bad to where even Gary won't share it with anyone because he's like, I know what it is, and it's like dark. Like I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, like,
So-
Artist
Oh,
that
like-
use it now.
Yeah, put that in Batman, dude.
Well, like,
Yes,
we're talking like Zack Snyder level of dark. What happened to him, his family, or darker than that?
Maybe darker than that.
That's
Um,
that's disturbing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty-
Jesus.
So, and I don't know if it's something within the family or if it's something that Matt is dealing with himself. Like, I feel like it's something internally that he's dealing with that he may have like a Kurt Cobain idea. So I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, Kurt Cobain
Um,
was murdered, but okay.
Oh yeah. Never mind. Sorry. What am I saying? Where's my tinfoil hat? But I gotta agree with Cannoli and Jack Frost here. How to Train Your Dragon is probably one of my top 2 animated films of all time when I look at like Hercules and How to Train Your Dragon. But that's separate from like any of the Ghibli films or any of the Miyazaki films. But those two, Hercules and How to Train Your Dragon, I think are almost perfect films. But so Josh, I know the gay in you doesn't want to indulge in Stitch, but I really do think it's a good movie, like, and it's heartfelt, and you will cry if you watch How to Train Your Dragon. It's just
Okay.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
I'm down.
so watch
Okay.
it because I love that freaking movie, and I want to do we could, you know who else likes it? Steph, My Dirty Home, and Baggage Claim. So we could potentially get them in on this, and we could do a first time watching. So
Yeah. Let's do it.
yeah. Kyle and Drew probably don't want to be involved in that, but oh well.
I'm good.
I'm
if,
good.
if we're talking Robin Hood, the Disney film Robin Hood, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
all,
yeah.
I'll be all for that.
Or Sword in the Stone.
Fuck yeah, I'm there.
Good one.
I love that movie. Aaron said he liked them too. Hell yeah. Good deal. Well then, all right. Well, we've got the mark of quality, so that's good. Speaking of which, Drew, did you end up seeing Lord of the Rings this past week?
No, that's
Do you
this.
remember?
It's this upcoming weekend. That's the
Oh,
20
okay.
next weekend. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You'll have to keep us up to date. We want to hear like minute by minute updates. All right. So keep us in the
It's
loop.
it's a packed theater. I am absolutely shocked. Just how packed it is.
Wild. Jamin says you guys haven't seen Tango and Cash and you want to watch How to Train Your Dragon. This is blasphemy.
Agreed.
Well, who hasn't? Wait, no, I've seen Tango and Cash. I don't know. Oh, Max. Yeah, we need to do a private watch along with that. We got to do a
For
private
sure.
stream. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna be in Dallas for a week, so maybe.
Very
you
true.
know.
Yeah. Put on some Madam Web and then watch Tango and Cash. There
No,
we go.
I think we'll pass on Madam. We did Madam Web last year. We'll have to watch Craven this year.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen it.
So-
No, I'll cook dinner and we'll watch it.
I didn't mean to leave you out, Aaron. I didn't know that was one of your favorite animated films. So, but that's good to hear because I don't think it's as recognized as much as I think it should. So, but all right. Well, now that we've kind of talked about soups, let's talk about the fantastic flop because Marvel is woke and the disaster of the woke Disney flop, fantastic flop. So this is another one that I probably can't play. But Josh, what were your initial thoughts on this bad boy?
So I'm opposite of Drew. I think a lot of what they show here is really good. So even what we're seeing here, the stuff with the Thing, people love Ben Grimm. People love the Thing. I think what they show is very likable of Ben Grimm here. I think a lot of people, I'll put it this way. I know a lot of comic book fans that have been fans of Fantastic Four for decades that are saying this is the first time I'm seeing something Fantastic Four that actually feels like Fantastic Four.
Whoa.
So I think you're going to have a lot of people that are going for this. And look, I get that we have the stuff that we talk about, the Pedro Pascal of it all, the Silver Surfer being a chick. Quite a few people are kind of questioning that. But I think a lot of normies don't care. Like I think they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. There's a lot of people that love Pedro Pascal. God forbid, but
No, you're right. Normies do love Pedro Pascal.
yeah,
Pascal, and I think a lot of normies don't really know who Silver Surfer is, and even if they do, they're probably, like you said, they probably just don't care, and they're probably just like, okay, like maybe it's in the comics, and they look at Wikipedia, and they're like, oh yeah, look, I guess it's this here, yeah, and it's like,
Or then they go to eBay and see like, oh, Silver Surfer is a girl. Okay.
The other thing too, because I was talking to my friend BD recently, and we were just kind of talking about this, and he made the comment that all he said was, dude, have you noticed how many people are going back and praising or talking about how much they loved the early 2000s Fantastic Four film? And I'm like, yes.
Oh, not just that, the Roger Corman movie. The Roger Corman movie's a masterpiece compared to this. So
no,
far.
if you get on Twitter, like everyone's like, oh, that the original Fantastic Four was like the best thing ever. And it's like, dude, no one has said that or thought that for the past 20 years.
Yep.
So, you know, we have a tendency to put these rose-colored glasses on for things of the past because we remember like little moments. We're like, oh, that was great. Kyle, season 3 of Daredevil. Like, you know, everyone speaks so highly. Kyle's like, no, it starts off as shit. That season was shit at first. So it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of good here. I will say something that I think is going to be somewhat controversial. This trailer and the tone of the trailer and the idea of hope reminded me of Captain America: The First Avenger. It's got that throwback, you know, Americana type vibe to it, even though this is the 60s instead of the 40s, but it's got that same like inspirational sense to it. So I think this is going to be received well.
I'm going to say no, Josh. I'm not picking that hope here. Like, I'm picking up doubt in this, especially from Reed. Like, the confidence that I know Reed Richards has, that's gone here. Pedro does not have that confidence from what I'm seeing in his clips here in the film. It's all in Sue Storm. Sue Storm is like the Rock, and she's the one who's like the strong one. It's not Reed. It seems like Reed's a damsel in distress in this film, and that's another factor that kind of has me concerned.
Aaron Sparrow says it's note rose-colored glasses, so it's clear glasses when you see the shit-colored garbage they give us now. So I think, you know, when you're looking at the comparative nature of the early 2000s Fantastic Four to what they may give us here in 2025, I think that's kind of where you get the nose-colored glasses. Same thing with Daredevil. You look at Daredevil season 3 and then Daredevil Born Again, and you're like, okay, maybe Daredevil season 3 wasn't the best thing ever, but comparatively to Born Again, it may be like a masterpiece. So.
It's not even comparatively. Like, what I'm saying is people that shit on the original Fantastic Four film for 20 years are now acting like it's the best thing they've ever seen.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's the rose-colored glasses. And that is literally how you just go on Twitter. It's happening. Like, people are praising the hell out of that film. And I'm like, why? And I guarantee you, they haven't watched it recently. Like, there was stuff that worked in that film. And Jamin mentioned the actor that played Reed was I thought that was perfect casting. Like, he was a great actor. But the films, they're corny as all get it. Like, you know, Max with his Daredevil film and the playground scene on this, like, you know, those things existed. Like, they really happened.
Mm-hmm.
If there's one thing I like about those early 2000s Fantastic Four films, the one thing I think they got right, it was a relationship between Johnny and Ben. I bought that. Like, that is Johnny and Ben. You have Johnny punking on Ben every chance he can get. I loved it. It was perfect.
And when he's like, we're going to be the best damn uncles ever.
Well, in this film, it's like, okay.
Oh, you're saying the early 2000s.
Early 2000s, yeah, when Johnny's like, you know, punking on Ben. I love that stuff. But here it's like.
I'm also going to say we're comparing what we've seen in a trailer compared to what we actually watched in a film, too. Like, you didn't get much of their relationship in the trailer of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
By the way, we're not comparing anything to Fant Four Stick, by the way. There are only really two.
Funny how everyone forgets that film exists.
Yeah, I don't think we can count that in the myriad of, like, you know, Fantastic Four films. So like, let's just keep that out of the conversation. We're just talking about early 2000s in this one, and that's it.
And Roger Corman.
Roger Corman, that film was basically to keep the rights, but I do think it's fun in and of itself. the hand.
Well, I will say the actor who played
Clobbering time.
the actor who played Doom in that film, he had some serious gravitas. I love that guy. He was amazing.
But it was funny because the microphone would pick up his mask.
Yep.
Oh, he talked like this on the mask, and so you could like hear. Oh. But hey, they had him in like armor. You know, they had Doom and like the classic costume, and it looked awesome. So, Aaron says, I agree with Josh that normies don't care, but I think it's the Fantastic Four they don't care about. Normies like Marvel, and they will shill for Marvel content. They will just go to Marvel content, TM Marvel, and they'll just go and watch whatever it is. And so I think you guys have a point there in saying that this could have been Fantastic Four, this could have been the Defenders, but like the comic Defenders with Doctor Strange and Hulk and Namor and Valkyrie. It could have been anything, and Marvel fans would have just been like, sure. My only hesitation though is that the Captain Black America Falcon movie didn't do well. So that's my only hesitation in saying that the Marvel brand still has the shills and the normies attached to it, but I don't know.
I think the director recently of that film, he went out on Twitter or Reddit and like was saying like, hey, if you didn't like the film, let me know why you didn't like it. I want to know why you didn't like it.
Yeah, he did. He was going out saying that he didn't see an objective reason to dislike the film and that the film wasn't bad. I'm like, no, there's plenty of bad in the film. Like we had a whole string talking about it, Drew, on my channel where, there wasn't anything egregiously god awful like you had with like the Marvels or anything, but it was death by 1,000 cuts. There were a lot of very minor things that weren't done well that killed that.
I'm still pissed. Like we didn't get a kick-ass Isaiah Bradley moment toward the end of the film. That would have been awesome. We never got that.
Yeah, and Zach's, I'm not talking box office wise. I'm just saying there for whatever reason Pedro Pascal has a fandom behind him that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't
so I was gonna say too, Drew, you had mentioned a little bit earlier, and I didn't mean to kind of I wanted to come back to it because I had read a comment and forgot to kind of talk about what you had said earlier. But I think you had mentioned that it felt like Reed here is kind of a secondary character in his own film where he should be kind of the leader of this team.
Well, not just, he is the leader, one, but two, like he always displayed like a confidence, you believed in Reed, you trusted in him. And here I'm like, I don't see that here. I'm not picking that up. I'm picking that more up in Sue. I'm picking up that Sue is the leader. Sue is the bedrock. Sue is the person going to go to for confidence and hope.
This is definitely going to be Sue's movie. And I don't say that in a way that's like, oh, it's woke. Like, sure, it could be politically driven or ideologically driven because Marvel doesn't learn their lessons. But from this trailer, if they are trying to convey that this is Sue's film, they've done a very good job of that. I don't know if that's what other fans are seeing as well, but to me, Sue has all of the lines. She is the most confident. She is the leader of the team. The film is going to focus around her pregnancy and the birth, hence the first steps. And it's also an allegory or some sort of subliminal message, or not subliminal, subcontext or subtext of, well, she's pregnant with this new baby. We are also kind of having this new first steps into our new phase and blah, blah, blah. So I think this will be her film. And I don't know. Well, I do know how I feel about it. I think that's lame. And I think that it does a disservice to Reed, honestly, because I think Reed is a really great frontman, but it needs to have someone with gravitas. And I don't know if Pedro can do that or not. So, I mean, MCU or not, I 100% expect this to be Sue's film. Now, do you guys think that that's going to hinder your enjoyment of it? I mean, I like Vanessa Kirby. There's nothing wrong. I like her casting. I like her acting. I don't know if I necessarily want to see a film that's centered on her. So
we'll see. I don't know. And honestly, with Vanessa Kirby, look, I know is she a beautiful woman? Absolutely. But for me, when I picture Sue Richards, she doesn't convey that warmth, that love that I would pick up in a Sue Storm or Sue Richards. She just comes across as a cold bitch in this, and she comes across more of a white queen than Sue Storm. And
oh wow,
that's just my interpretation of how she's playing this role.
Jamin says, let's face it, from the trailer, this Reed doesn't look like the smartest person in the world. Kyle, didn't you say in our text thread he just seems kind of like a not a cuck? What'd you say? He was just a bitch.
He's a fucking pussy. When he says
Yeah.
I don't know, Reed would never say I don't know in front of a group of journalists and news cameras. Like, he would give some overly complicated answer that would sound like gobbledygook to most people, and then it would be Johnny or somebody else coming in, or Ben saying like, no, Reed's got this, or something. Like, it would have been some off, like Reed would have gone into some really ridiculous answer, not as opposed to being like, I don't know. And somebody asked me, are we all fucked? Are we all gonna die? Is our planet fucking gone? And the smartest person says, I don't know, maybe. It's like, huh? He doesn't fucking say that. What are you talking about? Like, this is the dumbest answer the smartest person could give. You're a fucking idiot. Like, come on now. That's not Reed.
I do think, like, even if he didn't because they don't understand what Galactus is, right?
Right.
And they don't know what threat they're up against. But I still think that, like you said, Kyle, Reed would at least give some sort of autistic explanation as what he thinks is happening, you know?
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't understand 100% what, not just to say, I don't know, or like, you know,
right. And then you see him at the chalkboard, then later, and then he's like, all right, I have 2,746 different solutions that could possibly work, but I really don't know. It's like he's just working, trying to figure this the fuck out. And it's like, I have all these solutions and I have no idea if they're all going to work. And then it takes the family to come together and saying, Reed, you're going to solve this. You're going to figure it out. All right. We believe in you. You're the rock. That's why we're here. That's why we all believe in you. That's what you need. You need that hope given to him. And he's like, you know what? I do fucking got this. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So to play devil's advocate, I think we actually get both of those things in this trailer. You've got Sue telling Reed, like, you've got this. We can do this. Like, twice in the trailer. And then you've got the very end. Reed's last line is, we will protect you. And he says it very matter-of-factly. I think the problem that we have here is, you know, crap, I can't think of her name now. Who's playing Sue?
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, Vanessa Kirby. So I'm anti-Drew. I think she's a great choice. I think she's perfect. If you've seen some of the other stuff she's done, she can be very warm. But I do think, like, her presence, I just think she's got more testosterone than Pedro Pascal. Like,
100%.
Yeah, she does.
100%.
She absolutely does.
Yep.
But I think that's Marvel's intention. Like, they want her to have more testosterone than him. Like, they pick that casting so specifically they could center the film around her and she could be the leader. And I like any other team, maybe this works, right? But with the Fantastic Four, it was written in the 60s, it was set in the 60s, and with that, but because we're in 2025, these writers don't know what a traditional family structure looks like, nor can they write a family like that because they think it's patriarchal, or they think that it's oppressive, or they think that it's misogynist and all this other BS. Instead of saying, listen, this is, if we are going to go balls deep into Fantastic Four, Reed is the leader. And that's just the nature of their team dynamic. So I do want to share this because it's freaking hilarious. Perch shared this the other day. He goes, I get it. It's worrisome when actors talk about modernizing characters, but is anyone surprised this is being modernized? And the panel from this Fantastic Four book says, Reed goes, It made us imagine the worst about each other. That's why you thought you saw me with that other girl. It's what Doom wanted you to think. It was Doom's way of toying with us, of setting us up for the kill. And Sue says, Reed, dearest, I've been such a fool. And Reed says, not a fool, Sue, merely a female. Woo, bravo. I mean,
He's not wrong.
do you get better dialogue than that? Shoot.
It's accurate.
You couldn't have reacted differently. You're just
Amen.
you're just merely a female.
Just merely a jealous bitch. Yeah.
It's so funny. I love it.
So true.
So yeah. I mean, they comics were better back in the day, I guess.
They were. But this trailer, it got so much right. And unfortunately, a few lines of dialogue and a few things that people are picking out as bad, it is tainting everything good about it. And there is so much right. This will be the best acted Fantastic Four film we will probably see. All of these actors are top notch. They will all do well. I know everyone hates Pedro Pascal. He's in everything, but he is a decent actor.
He's fine. He
can act. These guys can act. They're going to do great in that regard. It's going to be the best looking film. It's going to be great in that, but I guarantee there's going to be a few things that people are going to fucking and it's just going to overshadow everything.
Yeah. So when we were in the text group yesterday, I got a little because I hate this thing with films now, and it's not just Marvel films. I'm seeing it with everything that you have what's legitimately a good film, but there's one or two things that happen that people don't like. They're like, oh, that film's crap because of this and this. I'm like, you're complaining about less than 2 minutes of a 2-hour film where you liked everything else about the film, but those two minutes now it's just hot garbage. We can be new. We complain about how these writers with a lot of stuff today aren't nuanced. Especially with comics, right?
Oh yeah.
Yet we then turn around and do the exact same shit when talking about a film. You can say good things happen in a bad film. You can say bad things happen in a good film. It's okay. You're not gonna combust and explode. You will still live to see another day.
So my rebuttal to that, because we had talked about this a little bit in the chat, and my rebuttal honestly is it's petty. Don't get me wrong. I recognize how petty I am with this take, but I'm glad that you guys keep me real, keep me grounded, keep me honest about my reviews, right? But for me, my whole thought process is, why give them the benefit of the doubt? Why should I give them any goodwill when they have proven to me nothing for the past 5 years? And even with this Daredevil series, I really haven't enjoyed it. I really feel like they've taken the wrong direction with this thing. And if I'm a normie coming into this series and I don't know any behind the scenes, I'm going to think this show sucks, that it's completely disjointed, because I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But because we know, maybe we give it a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt. But why should I? Right? Because I've been, played around with and toyed with so many times by the stupid Disney studios. Why should I give them the benefit of the doubt? I had jokingly and kind of tongue-in-cheek said that it's like when what did I say? It's like when a woman gets turned down by a guy, and then from that moment on, she goes, all men are trash. That's kind of how I feel. And I know, like I said, I know that's petty, but when you've been turned down by so many men or so many women, you start to have this apathy effect where you go, fine then, I'm done. Done. Right.
Listen, Aaron has been saying that for the past 2.5 years, right? From the day we started Pop by Culture and he was on that first episode, he was saying that. I'm perfectly okay with that. If that's your stance and you're like, listen, they burned me so many times, I'm not going to do it, fine. Even with Daredevil, part of the reason I've been so outspoken on the behind the scenes stuff is I want people to realize, because I do think what the new creative team is doing is kind of in line with what I would like to see. I don't think we're ever going to get something that was peak Daredevil. I think even if the original Daredevil team had continued on, we wouldn't have reached that. all I'm trying to do in those moments is say, like, hey, listen, if you're looking at some of these episodes going, this is shit, and somebody's going, like, well, this was really good. What the fuck's going on? This is what's happening. That way you can make up your mind if you think it's worth it. And if you don't think it's worth it, I get it. Like, I get that people think that I'm this, like, you know, head in the sky, everything's going to be great. I don't think so. I hope that these films are good. I love these characters. I love comics. I want to see good films, but that doesn't mean that I want to see good films so bad that I'm going to ignore a bad film. If it's a bad film, I'm going to say it's a bad film. I've come out and said a lot of the Marvel stuff is bad. Even when people were loving Deadpool and Wolverine, I was like, yeah, it was okay. So, you know, I will go against the grain, whether it's good or bad. I'm just going to speak honestly to what I think. I know Drew's like, Max, at least I didn't hate it like Max. But
I despise that film.
Yeah,
It was
it's
fun.
That bad. It's not that bad.
It's fun.
It's
It's slop.
Yeah.
It is.
You watch it once and you don't need to see it again.
It was fun.
You watch certain scenes and then, you know, run from that.
Well, it's even funnier knowing it now. It's even funnier watching it now, knowing that the Nice Pool is what's his face.
Oh yeah,
The one actor from Where We Leave Is How We End, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah.
But to your point though, Josh, I think you've done a good job of, like, you watch the film and you review the film, and if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad, and you talk about why.
yeah.
Yeah.
And look, not to have, well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna have my Chris Gore moment. If you don't want to see a film because you've been burned too many times, and you say that, that's fine. But to then try to find every little thing you can nitpick about a film you haven't seen, sit down and shut the fuck up, unless you're gonna go see the film. Like, I will be Chris Gore screaming, "Watch the fucking film!" all day long if you're trying to talk about something you haven't seen. Same with the shills that want to praise the fuck out of something they haven't seen. If you haven't watched it, sit down and shut the fuck up.
Yep.
I love
Now,
you guys.
I will say though, because I have not seen this Fantastic Four movie, I don't know what's in it. But if they are trying to entice me to go see it, which is what a trailer should do, then I don't know if that has done that for me. If they stuck with the first one, I'd still be more excited to see Fantastic Four than Superman.
But
after seeing this,
though, you want Marvel to fucking fail. You want them to go away and burn. So it doesn't matter what they put out. Would you go see it anyway? Would they put out the greatest Fantastic Four trailer you've ever seen? Would anything get you to go?
did I say I want them to fail, or did Aaron say they wanted them to fail?
Well, you seem to be more in the camp of they can't do anything right anymore.
I mean, I am kind of at a point where I'm indifferent to where I would love for them to stop making films, but if they make something great,
would you care? If they made something great, would you care?
well, I think I would have to wait and see, because there's always the wait and see, right? And then
That's
I think
okay. So you answer my question. So it doesn't matter what trailer they put out, you're not going to see it. And if everybody else says it's good, then you'll see it.
And
No,
then
because you
make my
still
own
haven't seen
judgment
Top
from
Gun.
well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Listen, and Max, I genuinely think this is where you are, and it's okay. I think you were so over Hollywood that no matter what, you're gonna go in with the, like, I'm not gonna like this mindset.
Right.
And that is okay. I'm not saying
fine.
that's bad.
No, that's perfect.
Oh, it's more cynical. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, but here's my thing, and this isn't directed towards you. I think anyone that goes into a film or a television series or a comic book with the mindset of this is going to be awful, and not like this is going to be so awful that it's good, but God, this is going to be awful, or God, I don't want to see this because I know they're going to. Let me put it this way: if we were going back to 2000, what was it, 2006, 2007. 8, whatever, Captain America First Avenger, if you had a month and a half of Haley Atwell going out there talking about how much this is a female power movie and it's we finally get to see a woman, stand up and take a stand, I guarantee you people would have had a different outlook on that film than what they actually had.
Potentially.
Oh,
And
no,
I guess
you
it's
would
still-
have. Like, not you directly, but general you. People would have been
Sure.
like, oh, this whole film, every time she's on screen, she's one-upping a man. But we don't. We're like, yo, she's great in that film, which she is. And it was
Yeah,
handled
she
better
is
than,
great.
like, She-Hulk and shit. Like, I'm not trying to make that comparison. I'm just saying, if you go in looking for something, you're gonna find it.
I think when those things though are like blatantly in your face, and because we've had a pattern of behavior that has done this, that's why I have that cynicism, I feel like. And so because I then go into the film knowing that like, oh, is this what you're laughing at?
That I
They
read
help.
that.
They do
Yeah.
help.
They do help. Look, I'm gay, and I'll even say they help. Come on.
But Cannoli says, "Stop yelling at me, Josh." Well, which one is it? Because Jamin says Josh is on fire right now, and he's given the best speech ever. So I don't know. But yeah. All that being said, I feel like with the pattern of behavior that we've seen from honestly all these different production companies, I am more cynical and I am more hesitant, and I probably don't want to go see these movies. I think I've said before, like if all of these franchises just stopped making stuff, I'd be totally fine, because there's so much great film and TV that I haven't yet seen that I still need to catch up on, like
Tango and
Buffy,
Cash.
like Star Trek, like all these, like, you know, whatever. I
Tango
would
and
just watch
Cash.
those till the rest of end of time. But because they keep making stuff, it almost deters me more, because I'm just like, it's just more slop. It's just more just content, right? And so I think that kind of rubs me the wrong way. But even I guess you guys are right though, because even when people were like, "Oh, Guardians 3 is great," I didn't watch that one.
I hated that movie.
You
did
you
not
didn't like
it.
that one? Okay.
I was in the. I'm like, everyone is yelling in this movie, and I couldn't fucking stand it.
I thought you would have enjoyed the animal stuff.
Of course, obviously, I'm the one. Yeah.
The cute little
See them
fuzzy
all
minions.
die. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Considering that you love Feral, not because of the cats, but because the cats die.
Yes, that's the best part.
Yeah. Do we want to say anything else about the trailer itself, the film itself? I think we kind of already have touched on. We think it's going to do better than Superman. We think that it's going to have better, probably, reception than Superman in terms of like critic score potentially.
Mhm.
We think it's probably going to make more money. Anything else that we want to talk about the trailer or just the meta of the Fantastic Four in general? I know we may not have talked a little bit about like the actual trailer itself. I know we talked a lot about the production and what it means and films in general and Marvel in general. I will say, regardless of this being focused and centered on Sue, and despite the female Silver Surfer, the vibes of Hope and of this period piece that takes place in a futuristic 60s era does make me more hopeful for that aspect, especially this kind of montage where they have Johnny Storm, they have the Thing busting through walls, they have Mr. Fantastic doing his stretches. Like, this was a lot of fun, and I think that this is going to be a really great action like set piece. But I don't know, man. It's tough to say when it's just a trailer. But anything else that we wanted to mention about the actual content of the trailer?
I would just say the fact that it has a visual identity does a lot for this. Whether that will be supported by the script and the story, we'll see. But
Yeah.
I mean, that part of the reasons that I think this is going to be better than Superman is that it actually has a visual identity. You look at this and there's a clear vision that they were going for. So
Yeah, and
That's a good point.
it's gonna suck if they leave this universe, and if it does die, if Galactus does, and they have to leave and come to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That will suck. That this is the only time we're gonna see this potentially at any point in time. I don't know how it's gonna end. If they're gonna have to be like, all right, we gotta leave, and we're gonna fuck with time, and we're gonna end up.
they're leaving.
Yeah. And it's like,
Yeah.
this was really cool, a fun aesthetic. I want to stay in this universe. Like, nah, never mind. Fuck them, they're gone. Oh, thanks.
I mean, there's so many great Fantastic Four like stories that you could adapt in this specific universe.
Yeah.
That would be really fun to watch.
We gotta get them to Secret Wars, guys.
Well,
And before
that's
that, Doom.
It's like, no,
because in
slow
the
down.
chairs,
I know.
you know, when they did that stupid live stream with all the chairs, don't they have Vanessa Kirby's name and Joseph Quinn's name on there?
They have
Yep.
all four of them.
Mhm.
They're there.
So well, yeah. So
Yeah.
then I guess they will leave this universe and go to the not 616, but like 9999999 or whatever. The
Oh no,
MCU.
they claim it's 616 in the MCU now. So
Gross.
yeah, I know. That's what Iman Vellani was giving Kevin Feige so much shit about.
Yeah.
I was
Kevin
like,
Faggot.
no, this isn't the 616. The comics are the 616. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least she's based. And
Yeah,
Kevin
agreed.
Feige can't figure it out.
So Max, what are your thoughts on seeing female Silver Surfer? Like, didn't that get your rocks off? Weren't you excited?
Y'all really want to see my autism come out?
Didn't you get bricked up?
Fully torqued?
Yeah. Did you get like that the tweet that I sent you guys where they had the image of female Silver Surfer and then the image of that guy with silver all over his mouth?
Lex Luthor, actually. I saw the other one from Mad Max. He's got the spray paint on his face.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Here's what I got to say about this. And please feel free to interject at any point. But my autism is going to be on full display.
All right.
No one, I don't think anyone is legitimately upset in terms of when it comes to like the fact that they think that like this is Silver Surfer that's from the comics or whatever. Like it's all the Wikipedia warriors that are coming out that makes me more upset than the actual character of the female Silver Surfer. Like, yeah, this sucks. Like it doesn't look good. The CGI looks bad. But I also think that it's doing a disservice to Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad, especially when they are trying to do the actual adaptation of The Coming of Galactus, which is issues 48, 49, and 50, which is arguably the best story in comics. Why? I think that's the big question that everyone wants to ask is why would they put in a female Silver Surfer? Is it because of ideological reasons? Is it because they want to adapt the Earth X Silver Surfer Shala Ball? But if that's the case, there is actually a Norrin Rad in that same series. So why would they not have him? Are we going to see him? There was another piece of cope where someone was like, guys, the reason why we have a female Silver Surfer is because we know that this universe is going to get destroyed. And so they didn't want to waste Norrin Rad on this universe. Do we think that, and this is to the panel, this is to the chat, this is to anyone, do we think that that is a legitimate argument?
So I think you've got Home Chick because there's I can't think of what the guy's name is, but there's a guy that's in between Kevin Feige and Bob Iger, and that guy wanted what's her name from
Ozark?
from whatever, Ozark.
Yeah.
And that's why she's there.
That's literally it. Just some producer was like, I want this bitch.
Yeah, he's the head of like film for Disney. Now I do genuinely think there could be, and again, I'm not saying this from anything that I've heard. I do think they could be like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it because we are destroying this universe anyways. And then we can actually do a Norrin Rad story. Because I think they had mentioned wanting to do one of those specials for Disney Plus, like one of those hour to hour and a half long specials, just focusing on Norrin Rad. I could be wrong. I could be getting wires crossed here. But
sorry, say that one more time. What are they going to focus on Norrin Rad?
So they've got a lot of these characters that when they were doing their changeover and making their adjustments, and this is how we're going to adapt moving forward. They talked about doing the special presentations for like the film length type stories for Disney Plus that introduce characters. I'm wanting to say Norrin Rad was one of the people they had mentioned wanting to do that with.
Okay.
That way you can get backstory, but not have to like try to wedge it into a massive film. I could be I could be wrong, but
okay. To me, it just seems like it seems like it's just a fan made that theory up that about like, oh, well, they're going to destroy the universe, so they didn't want to use Norrin Rad. Maybe, but when we look at their past behavior, I feel like it's more of an ideological decision that they just said, listen, we have too many men in this in this film. Like, let's be honest. And we just want to put another female in there. And why not make her the most powerful cosmic being in the universe? Because if you look at Silver Surfer, he is granted cosmic powers by Galactus and is arguably one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe. And so they were probably like, yeah, Slay Queen, we'll get a female to do this. Cool. That sucks. Yes. But it's even worse when you have the people that are coming out in full force that are like, oh my God, but she's in the comics. So let's talk about that phrase. Earth X happened back in the 2000s. Shala Bal Earth X, Silver Surfer, is in 2 issues and 4 total panels. I did this on my channel a little while ago, but these are the exact panels. You can find them. Here's 1. Here is 2. And don't look at all the screen time she gets. I mean, she is just really at the forefront. Here's 3, and here is 4. These were the only pages and panels I could find out of these 2 issues of Earth X. So if we're talking about Shala Bal Silver Surfer, she's going to be in the new movie. That's what we get. But then we get some real retards who want to post this picture everywhere. And they go, this is rich. These people have never read the comics. Oh, lil bro, though. How you don't know that this actually isn't Shala Bal or the, Norrin Rad Silver Surfer. This is some random girl named Juno in a comic book series called Hercules Twilight of a Hero or something, or of a God. Yeah, Twilight of a God, that lasted for 4 issues. And she's in this for like a panel. Where is it? We'll get there. Don't you worry. She's in here somewhere. There she is. There you go. So this Juno person is like Hercules' cousin. So people who are posting this image and they're like, bro, people don't read the comics. Yeah, you definitely don't read the comics either, because this is from a Hercules book and it's like a random Silver Surfer that they did in the early 2000s or something. And if we really want to get autistic with this, the best option for a female Herald of Galactus would have been Nova, which not only would have looked freaking badass and awesome, but they could have had a story with Johnny and Frankie Ray Nova. I think, Drew, you had alluded to this earlier. And we could then still introduce Norrin Rad later, because they do have a relationship. They are close with each other, and they are both Heralds of Galactus. So you could have this badass, super powerful female that is friends with Norrin Rad Silver Surfer. She looks gorgeous. Fans would love her. She'd do great in the cinema. So why make this stupid decision to do this nonsense, right? So that's my big issue.
Because Ozarks.
Because some movie producer liked this chick from Ozark. It's like, cool.
5 years ago. Yay.
Also, yeah. Also, just even if you did like her in Ozark, look, I think she's fine in Ozarks, right? Like, great.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But even if you were like that gung ho about her, why would you then want to slap her as a Silver Surfer where you can't even see that it's her?
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna know. But no, I'm being serious. It was the same
No,
thing.
you're
with
right.
freaking-
It's like her at all.
It was the same thing with Carrie Coon for Infinity War and Endgame. Like, they got Carrie Coon for Infinity War because they were such a big fan of her, and they throw her in as Proxima Midnight, and it's like, you don't do anything to promote that. I mean, she's not a huge name, but it's like no one's gonna know that that's her. And then she felt like she was treated so bad she didn't actually come back for Endgame. She was like, "No, I'm good."
So I'm gonna propose a theory here. Like, what if they had gotten like the most androgynous actor they could find? Someone like a what's her name from who played the ancient one? Was it Tilda Swinton? Someone like her, someone who could portray someone androgynous to portray Norrin Rad as the Silver Surfer in this. I think that would have played it better.
No,
because then I think you start getting into trans conversations. Because with the moment you said someone androgynous, my first thought was Hunter Schafer. who was a
I don't
tranny.
know.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Sure.
see, Drew, with that, even I have a problem with them making the ancient one Tilda Swinton, because that's not the ancient one. The ancient one was like this Asian guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
why did you make it a bald woman?
Oh,
It's
because
just, it's
if they had gone with the Asian guy, they wouldn't have released in China.
oh my god.
No, that's
course.
100% the reason.
Oh, I believe you. I'm
Yeah.
just tired of all the ideological
Listen,
nonsense. You know,
No, I mean that wasn't ideological. That was that
Or
was when
more
they were still being based,
production.
going, "Hey, we have to make money,
yeah.
and China's a good chunk of our box office. So if we cast an old Chinese man to play this role, or an old Tibetan, whatever, and we do that, and China goes, yeah, we're not playing this. We're kind of expecting that money, so we're
Mm.
gonna go this route. Like, I don't know. I don't
Would-
blame them for that. Make
would,
money. Make money.
Would Doctor Strange then, like when the ancient one would speak, would it be like a "Oh, samurai," or would it be like "Oh, Doctor Strange"? Like what kind of accent do you think they would really
I
hone
think,
in on?
well, the first one was a little too Japanese, but
Japanese, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I
they
think
would
of
have
the
gone
Chinese.
more. Yeah,
more Chinese. Yeah.
Oh no, no
You have to
taking
leave
no
out the S.
laundry. No
Yeah.
taking
I
no
think,
laundry.
think of more idea a Chinese.
A Chinese.
you're not playing with time. Not playing with
Doctor
time.
Strange.
We're here on
Doctor
Shitty Pot Town.
Strange.
We're here on Shitty Pot Town. Right?
Yeah,
No.
Shitty Walk. We go to Shitty Walk, get the shitty chicken.
I actually knew people that referred to City Walk as Shitty Walk.
Oh, God.
Shitty Walk.
Oh, Shitty Walk. So yeah, all in all, I think this is a bad decision. I think
Yeah, I
that it's
agree.
going to turn a lot of people off of the film. It is literally the easiest thing for them to do, have just to put a man in the role, and no one would complain except for Twitter weirdos and 1% of the population who probably would be like, why wasn't it a woman? It could have been Shalaba. And it's like, no one cares what you think.
No one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's
So-
funny. They turned what they thought was a sword into a shield. Everybody here as comic book fans are like, you've done this wrong. This is wrong. This isn't in the comics. This isn't in the comics. This is wrong. This isn't adapted from the comics. And then they're like, okay, fine. We'll find something we can adapt from comics. See?
Yeah.
So this was in a comic book. So now it's our shield, because you guys have been saying all along that this stuff wasn't in the comics, but now this thing is in the comics. So you can't be mad at us now, right? It's like, no, you're fucking retards. Like you didn't do your actual research.
And it is funny though, because they will do the most intensive research. Because we look, like when you look at these panels, you really do have to look for her.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what the
Yeah,
where?
and the art sucks, so that doesn't
And
help
the,
either.
yeah, the art's not that great.
No, that's one thing that Earth X, the problem it had, because this was like the Marvel follow up to DC's Kingdom Come. This was going to be like the response to that. And when they found out, oh, Alex isn't doing the interiors, oh, we're fucked. So,
I mean, the covers are great, but yeah,
well,
the
Alex did the
interiors-
covers. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, you're right, Kyle. They turned what could have been a sword into a shield. It's the easiest layup. It's like, bro, we're gonna introduce Norrin Rad Silver Surfer. We're gonna do the Coming of Galactus storyline, and this is our new phase 6 or whatever, right? And they can't help themselves. They are literally like just trying to appease this 1% of the population who knows nothing about anything, and it's pathetic. So this was a year ago. I said, let me get this straight. People are saying it was in the comics, defending Disney Marvel's female casting of the Silver Surfer. Juno is not Shala Ball, which we've seen already, over a character that showed up maybe 4 panels in 2 comics that no one read in a series that no one really cared about. Yule did not like this, and he said, Earth X was the shit, big hit too, but I understand people talking about what they don't know.
That's where I would say define big hit. I mean, were there statues produced? Yes, I think that was just due to because you had Alex Ross create the concept art for the characters more than anything else. They weren't getting it for the story; they were getting it for the Alex Ross covers and the Alex Ross statues.
Well, I mean, case in point, if you go and talk about Kingdom Come, people know what Kingdom Come is. If you bring up
Yeah.
Earth X, people are like, so what's that?
You
They
mean
don't
Gen
know.
X? Gen X.
Gen
What?
X, yeah.
Although
Yeah,
Jack
so-
Frost, I'm sorry, dude, I gotta disagree. Like, I get this isn't the best art for that, but I love John Paul Leon, and I think he's gone way too soon. He did great street level comic art. So
Oh, I don't know if I've seen a lot of his stuff other than here, but this is pretty funny. Aaron says, Max, they didn't even cast a man in the Reed Richards role.
Hi-yo!
That's true, but it's
Yeah.
so. Pop Culture Republic says introducing Shala Ball without a Norn Rad connection is like introducing Venom with no connection to Spider-Man.
yeah,
Who would
That's
do that?
brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great way of putting it. I mean, and that's what is so sad, man. Norn Rad's sacrifice was to save Shala Ball. Like his whole reason for existence and giving himself to Galactus as the new Herald was so that he could save Zen-La, his planet, and save Shala Ball. That was his whole existence. And then even when he gets to Earth, all he thinks about is his wife on Zen-La and Shala Ball, and how one day he hopes to escape the thrall of Galactus so that he can go back to Shala Ball and one day become, one with her. But no, we don't get
Almost
that.
like a Jesus character sacrificing himself to save the planet and the world and
You
all the
know
people
what?
he was on.
That's a great point, Kyle. It's almost like
Okay.
Stan Lee has said that before about the characters, that
Maybe.
it's almost
I
like a
doubt it.
Christ-like figure. Yeah.
I don't think
Explains
he would've
why
said
they
that.
didn't want the character in the film. I mean, it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Totally.
Very toxic.
Totally. Yeah.
We need a self-centered, egotistical woman bitch to come in
Yeah.
here and say,
You puny humans, your Earth is dead.
and then just have Sue Storm just both yell back and forth.
Oh
No,
my
I'm more
God.
oppressed than you. Do you see all these men behind me? They're always giving me shit. She's like, oh yeah, well I have this.
I'm a
big
literal
fuck back here."
slave to a big dick
Yeah.
behind me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, how many times has he told you to clean the kitchen after he told you to make a sandwich? Yeah.
Hell yeah, I want 2 hours of that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir. Fantastic. Femtastic 4. But yeah, this is so funny to me. This is just the fun, like, the Anna, that Star Wars girl, she says the only defense I've seen for the new Fantastic Four Silver Surfer is, but she's been in the comics. No fucking shit, Sherlock. No one said she wasn't. Either you're a shill or you're just too stupid to see the issue. Both are sad. And it's these people right here who post this picture and they're like, these people have never read the comics. You're telling me you read issue 4 of a mini series called Hercules Twilight of a God, where like 20 pages in, she finally shows up for this one panel. Like, okay, bro. Yeah, I'm so sure
Sure you did.
you know everything about Silver Surfer and Shala Ball. And yeah, so, and it's not even her. It's Hercules' cousin named Juno or something. So, but yeah, pretty hilarious. So that's my thoughts on the whole Shala Ball, Silver Surfer, dumb thing situation. I think it's just a lot of people who are saying like, but it was in the comics, and it's like, it really doesn't matter, because this whole reason for them doing this was either ideological or just pure nonsense, or just because some guy preferred her, when they had a layup, when they literally just had Norn Rad right there and they could have knocked it out of the park. So
The only other thing that I'm hating is the people that are like, oh, why is it a chick? And then following that up with, I mean, if, it would have been fine if it was Sydney Sweeney. And I'm like, fuck off.
No, yeah, I know
No,
she's got
they,
big
like,
tits.
even-
yeah, I would love to see that too, but come on now.
yeah.
I mean, if you
Even
want to
if-
see that, just go watch with White Lotus season 1. There, you'll see
True.
it all.
Or that degenerate show she was on as like a college or high school student or something.
Oh,
She's just
Euphoria.
showing her
Listen.
tits
Oh
everywhere.
that's the one where like the underage
Euphoria.
kids are adults. Yeah.
Yeah. Go watch Gifts of Euphoria and get all your Coomer degeneracy out there.
Hell yeah.
Don't.
I still think Euphoria was a good show.
I'm still firmly believe that show is made by a pervert. So yeah.
Of course it is.
It's Hollywood.
So I don't want
I-
Sydney Sweeney near my Silver Surfer unless it's a Frankie Nova, but I don't even want her as a Frankie Nova because I don't know if she would even be right for the role. So Plus, I don't simp for women. That's gay. So, anyway, did we want to talk anything else about it? Did we hit everything? I think I've spurged out enough about the uterus on one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah. So you're gonna go see it, right? And we're gonna give it a review.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we'll do a review here.
Yep.
And then we'll do one for Ironheart.
But unfortunately, you can't give it an honest review, but that's okay. The rest
for
of us
Ironheart
for any of this.
I've been giving Daredevil an honest review.
Oh bullshit! Oh, don't you even start? No, you have not.
Because even last week you're like, "Oh, I think it's like a 3 out of 10." I'm like,
I give it a
that
negative
was
8.
way better than a 3 out of 10. If you were like, "Yeah, I'm still mad that we didn't see Daredevil," I've been like, "Yeah, no, I'm right there with you." But 3 out of 10 for last week's episode, get the fuck out of here.
I think I said 4. But yeah,
either way,
it definitely was not bad. And sometimes when I hear people be like, "Oh yeah, I was like a 2 out of 10," I'm like, "Do you know what a bad film? Have you seen a bad movie before?" Because this makes me think that you haven't. Like, I can show you some bad movie. I can give you a playlist of bad shit.
But if you keep your scores low, then like I said, once you do have something that's worthy, and you're like, "This was like an 8," then it really means something, you know. But if you're just ranking everything a 7, it's like, well, then where do you go from there?
No, you rank the bad shit that's actually bad a bad score, like a low score. If it's mediocre, you give it a mediocre score. If it's great, you give it a great.
Yep.
But your levels of great can be 7 to 10 or 9 to 10. You know what I mean? Like that scale can differ.
So you have to be consistent with what your scale is.
Yes,
so some people rate, honestly, their ratings are like a 5 to a 10. I always scored things 1 to 10. A 5 for me is right down the middle average. If it's average, it doesn't really lean good. It doesn't really lean bad. It's a 5. But some people have this school grading mindset of like, well, no, like it's got to be at least a 7 if it's good because 70's passing. And I'm like, fuck that. No, we're not in school. We're not grading papers. Go back to Miss Hooker's class and shut the fuck up. You know, like, you know, so for me, like 7 is good, but not great. Once you start getting into like 8, really good, 9 to 10, great. Like that's excellent.
Okay.
And not a lot of stuff gets 9 and 10s for me. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of tough. I'm gonna read these last 2 comments and then we'll get into some reviews here about Daredevil. Aaron says no one talked about the story in Earth X even while Earth X was being released. So, there you go. Gary from FNT made a great point. Says Marvel Star Wars fanatic. Great to see you as well. He says he's tired of them making us say MCU. Yeah, I think Gary's point there was like Gary wants to stop saying MCU, but they keep making stuff that will inevitably be MCU. And so he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll report on it. Now, I don't fully know if that's true because I think there is a part of him that's like, I like saying MCU, you know?
Oh, yeah. It gets like it makes him good money.
At this point.
Yeah.
It makes him great money and it's fun. It's funny. It's really funny when people say MCU, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like, I would also say just keep in mind, you're still getting Marvel stuff that was greenlit and worked on under Bob Chapek.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Bob Iger isn't at fault or anything, but Bob Chapek was genuinely way fucking worse than Bob Iger. So, like, you're still getting that shit. Ironheart was 100% Bob Chapek. Like, it's coming out in June, so just buckle up. Same with freaking Wonder Man that's going to be coming out. Like, you're gonna get another year of just dog shit. So
hold on your butts.
Yeah, that.
Look up.
Wait, Max, if you're gonna say that, you need to put blackface on, get some glasses, and have a cigarette hanging out of your mouth.
I love me some cigarettes.
I don't think he got that reference, but okay.
No, he didn't.
It's Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Where he's about to close down the park and he's like, hold on your butts.
Hold on to your butts. What actor was that?
Samuel Jackson.
Okay.
Woof. Close call.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give you a handy after the show. And
that deserves a super chat. No. I don't want a handy from you. That deserves a super chat.
Damn. What does it say about you, Josh? Woo.
I'd rather
Oh,
get
Jesus.
I'd rather get $1 than a dandy from Josh.
Ironically, it's not the first time I've heard that one.
Anyway, I guess I'll wrap up this whole Silver Surfer conversation with just the main point. And the thing is, anyone walk into literally any comic store ever in the face of the earth, anywhere in the universe, and go to a comic shop, ask the guy at the front desk, and go, "Hey, can you show me where there's some Silver Surfer comics?" And 10 times out of 9, like more times than not, they will point you to the Fantastic Four stuff, the 90s Silver Surfer, the Stan Lee 60s Silver Surfer trade paperback, the Omnibus, the Defenders. They will point you to literally every Norrin Rad Silver Surfer known to man. No one is going to go, "Oh, you mean Earth X?" Just no
Now
one's
they
going to
will.
do that. Well, now they will, because they're going to go, "Oh, it's hot. They could spend some
Cha-ching.
money on it."
That'll
Yeah.
be $200, please.
Those hairy-legged women in Portland and those they/thems everywhere else, they
Yep.
will.
They will. So, but yeah, when you get these little kids who come in and they're like, "Oh, I want to read Silver Surfer," and the Portland blue-haired whale goes, "Oh, here's Earth X, kid," they're gonna go, "Oh, well, that's not." Well, that's, or they're gonna give him Hercules, the Last Commander Champion, issue number 4, and they're gonna go, "You could read Juno," and he's gonna go, "Oh, well, I know, I wanted Silver Surfer." Well, that's her. So
There you go.
all right. Well, speaking of disingenuous reviews, though, because apparently you guys think that I give disingenuous reviews. Ethan is 100% taking the piss right now. Like he watched apparently all of Daredevil Born Again season 1, and he says, "I loved it. Compelling, addictive TV." Not 1 second of this has been compelling or addictive. There's all these other shows to get into. I guess I'll watch the 3 Netflix Daredevil seasons next. I think Ethan is 100% like trolling.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
If
I don't think there's anything else. Yeah.
Because I know that when we started this season, there were talks. We asked each other, "Hey, do you see any Trumpisms in the first episode?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see it." I saw the Trumpisms in this last fucking episode. It was their full frontal in this damn episode, and I'm like, "Yep, they're really showing they're really showing their cards on this episode." And yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, the whole resist. What was it? It was resist, rebuild. Yeah, it was some like stupid saying at the end of it, and it's like, oh my god, did he really just say resist?
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty heavy-handed. I was even surprised that they went there. But yeah,
I'm just surprised that when they had they were showing the quote unquote footage of people rioting in the streets and the looting, that they didn't show like a reporter saying like, "It's mostly peaceful out here." I'm legit,
oh yeah, that's right.
I'm surprised they didn't have anyone do that.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's a lot of black people out there. I was like, oh no, right, never mind. There's a lot of white people being, never mind. Disregard. Carry on.
He also says, "I'm halfway through Daredevil Born Again, and it's great. If you don't like it, you don't like superheroes. It's excellent."
See,
he said that
he's right.
halfway through the season.
Yeah, see, he knows.
He most likely watched Leroy Jenkins and the Miss Marvel episode.
Yeah, he knew.
Ethan is 100% being a dickhead. Right?
What are you talking
he just
about?
is.
No, he wouldn't do that.
He
wouldn't do that.
I love him to death, but he knows exactly what he's doing with this.
Oh, little segue right there. Hart D. Fisher, he actually reached out to me earlier this week. I'm not sure if I told you guys. Yeah, Hart D. Fisher, he reached out to me, and he's got a channel on the Roku network. He's got an American Horror channel, and we're working at a deal. But I'll talk to you behind the scenes about that.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach says, "Reduce, reuse, recycle." Yep, that's what it was, Zach. You're right. How could I forget? Your boy Zach says if you didn't like Daredevil Born Again, you're a bitch.
Sounds like your boy Zach.
See, that tracks for Zach.
Yeah, I would
Like,
agree that tracks for Zach's.
Yeah.
That makes sense
Yeah.
for
Zach.
him.
Sorry,
He's-
not Zach's. I was reading Zach's.
Yeah. No, he like 100% is on this crusade against like Critical Drinker and Gary from Nerdrotic. Like, he just hates these guys so vehemently that he is looking at every show and every product and going like, yes, this was great. And it's like almost doing it as a counterculture to the counterculture.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the last video I saw, new video I saw that he did. It had to have been back in January, maybe
Yeah.
December, but it's been a long time since I watched a video from him.
I mean, his Rippaverse stuff is perfect. It's
I
just-
would know. I unsubbed because I got sick of his bullshit.
Me too. And he still loses subs every day.
Yeah.
But whenever I do come across his Rippa stuff, it's like gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's really, really well thought out.
Very accurate.
Yeah, Pop Culture Republic says resist, rebel. Rebelled.
Hell
Ugh. That's gross.
I agree.
All right. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic says the best scenes of the show both have Frank in them, being in the episode 4 scene and the finale with the apartment sequence.
I don't know. I love seeing Kingpin squish the guy's head, the
Yeah.
commissioner's head, in half. I'm like,
That was
okay.
so comically stupid.
Eh,
That
Was
did that
stupid.
not feel like just like, oh, we're a Daredevil show, so we kind of have to.
It just felt like a different
have
show.
to-
It was like, what is
yeah.
this? It made me laugh. I was laughing because I was just like, this is just comedically hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
so over the top funny. I'm like, why couldn't the rest of the show be like this?
Well,
I-
when you see a Funko Pop in episode 5, and then you see Kingpin smashing someone's head to bits in like the last episode, you're like, what is happening? What show did I sign up to watch?
I love it.
So let's just get right into this. We'll go down the line. Kyle, thoughts on episode 9, the season finale of Daredevil Born Again?
I liked more than I didn't like in this episode,
Hmm,
I guess is the best way to describe it.
okay.
There was a lot I liked. Now there's enough to hate in this for damn sure, but
Yeah.
I think overall it fits with the previous episode and with episode one. There's something here. If they had episode 1, a little bit of that, and then the last episode, then this one, it's like there's something here that they could have played with that would have been much, much better than what we actually got in the middle. But yeah, like I was laughing a lot at some of this stuff. There is a lot of over the top action, like ridiculous stuff. Just they went for it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I don't know what
Yeah.
the fuck's happening, but hey, we're here and I'm having fun with it.
I don't know. I feel like I couldn't even see what was going on in that apartment scene. It was just too. It was almost like too dark. I was just like,
It was
what?
very
I'm
dark.
just seeing like blood and body
The
parts, and I was
over-the-top
like, what's
bloodness
going
was hysterical. Like
on? Yeah, the amount of
yeah,
blood.
the
Like,
CGI blood was a little
it
like
was
they
a
got
lot.
they got carried away with it.
Yes, they
like
did.
Frank, he finds that guy in the alleyway. He sticks the knife in his neck, and when he pulls it out,
I
it's
know.
like,
It's just like
good. Like, ah.
yeah.
Like, oh my god, he nicked an artery, and all of the
Yeah,
dude's
it's like
blood poured
Punisher
out.
Warzone level. Of
That's what
split.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
A lot of this Punisher stuff reminded me of Warzone because it was like even when Frank like puts the guy's head on the table, then shoots it 3 times. and you
know,
hit
it's
it from
like-
under. I was like,
Like,
okay, you know
he's
what?
dead.
though?
He's
Listen.
dead.
We went through 2 seasons of Punisher, being like, man, it'd be great if we got more Punisher in this fucking series. So I'll take it. That
Yes.
at least we got Punisher. It wasn't
Yes.
over the top, yeah, but I'm like Kyle. I kind of laughed at it. I was like, Jesus, this is.
I know.
I guess they're going there, so why not? So
Yeah, I
Oh,
was with the
kudos
over
for
the
that.
topness.
I'll tell you guys my my thoughts on Punisher in a second. But yeah, so
overall, I
you-
had fun. I had fun with this.
You had
episode.
fun, okay?
Yeah.
For the series as a whole, so say you don't know anything else behind the scenes other than what you watched. what are you rating the series now that you've watched episode 9?
Oh, we're already giving our final thoughts on the whole thing.
Well, I figure we might as well because this doesn't really put a bow on anything. And so we kind of have to rate the series and kind of give an idea of like where, I don't know what all these episodes.
Yeah,
does for us.
overall, every episode, if we're taking everything into account, this is a fail.
Yeah.
But there are glimmers of hope in here, and there are some things that do work, and there are some episodes that are better than others. I think the caps, the beginning and the end, are fun, and there's good in there. So, but overall totality, yeah, it's a fail, and they knew that when they did it. I mean, they fucked up, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna try to salvage what we have. But yeah, I mean, it's like a 4 or 5. It's like, like not just
5. Yeah, if you're ranking on Josh's scale, 5 would just be like, I'm indifferent. Like this was so just average and bland and meh. It's just like I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just it exists. you know?
I mean, I use Dave Portnoy's pizza scale, whereas a 7 is good. There is no 10. There will never be a 10. It's at a 10, but it'll never be a 10. So 9 is fucking like, stop what you're doing right now. Watch this series. It'll knock your fucking dick off. Like this is legit. 8 is damn good. 7 is like, all right, but good. It's fine. Anything below that sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like a 4 and a 5. It's like 4 or 5-ish. This is kind of where it's at.
Okay. All right. Pop Culture Republic says bored again. 3 out of 10. It took 6 episodes to get anywhere story-wise for me. The first 10 minutes of episode 1 destroyed 3 seasons worth of character growth and dynamic with the 3 main characters. And the Punisher was out of character from the Netflix shows. He rushed into a building full of bad guys with no strategy. Fiend Machine kind of echoes that and says, to quote the Punisher IQ or HQ, Punisher HQ is a Twitter page I would highly recommend everyone going to check out. It's a great Twitter account that posts like panels of Punisher stuff every day. It's awesome. But Fiend says, I was surprised by the lack of tactics and how he rushed into dangerous situations without properly planning. The Punisher is a berserker. All right. So Josh, all part of the plan, eh?
I would say
I'm super curious to hear your thoughts because I want to hear what you think about how they wrapped things at the end of this and just the show and the episode overall.
Yeah. So look, I'm with Kyle. I think when you look at this as a whole, it's not good. I've talked about how I want to take a lot of this and just re-edit it into less episodes, and it would probably be like 4 episodes max that I would pull together. That tells you that more than 50% of the series is not good and not worth watching. There is no denying that. I think a lot of what my push for giving it a shot was kind of seeing what the new creative team was going to do, because I do think it's more in line with what we were getting. Yeah, I would probably say like a 4 to 5 out of 10 is what I'd rank the entire thing. And even with that, a lot of me is like, because what they reference with who was it that just referenced the first 10 minutes?
Pop culture.
Yeah. I mean, look, here's the deal. Like, I don't disagree with you, but they were forced to have 6 episodes that they were going to have to address. Why is Foggy and Karen not here? They had to do something. And one of those things was that Foggy was going to be murdered. So they did what they could to try to change it. He's coming back for season 2, which I think tells us, he's not really dead.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like, and I've said this before, if you get a pile of shit, there's only so much you can do to make it not be shit. At the end of the day, it's still gonna be shit. And how it ended, like, I would also say this isn't even supposed to. A lot of this is coming back on Disney's making terrible fucking decisions, and I wouldn't really blame the creative team. They took 6 episodes that they knew were shit, they knew weren't working, they knew weren't going to be received well, released them anyway. They forced a creative team that seems to have pretty decent ideas with what they would like to do with characters, but they are now beholden to the shitty ideas. And then what was being planned as an 18-episode story arc now got condensed of here's a 9-episode season 1. To Max's point, that doesn't really end. It just kind of, it feels like a mid-season break, but instead of getting that mid-season break and coming back like a month later, it's going to be a year later. So we'll see. They've had, a roughly a year to plan and write for season 2. So I'm hoping that we'll get better writing overall.
And what's interesting is that even with all the even with all the low viewership, because this had lower viewership than Acolyte, even with that, they
And
still
Agatha,
greenlit
and
Agatha, that's right. They still greenlight season 2 before they even finished season 1. Like they were still like, oh yep, we're gonna do a season 2. So
yeah. I look, if I were Kevin Feige and I made you take on the 6 episodes of bullshit that we weren't doing, I'm gonna give you, you know what, you're owed this at the very
out of
least.
the goodness out of my own heart.
Yeah, go do this. Honestly, they should have just scrapped everything. That's legitimately what they should have done.
100%.
Just scrap everything.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Just Batgirl it, or what was it? Batwoman?
Yeah,
Batgirl?
no, Batgirl. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
the toilet
ruin it.
thing. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But I will say the things that I do like. I like where we've ended up with. Are we going to go into details of the episode or no?
Oh yeah, no, totally. Go for it.
Okay, we'll save that for later.
Okay. Zaxi says they maximized Muse in this series. He's an unforgettable villain, and the series is an 8.5. It's one therapy session short of a 9. R.I.P. White Tiger. You're a girl now. Wow.
Yeah.
Bravo. That's stunning and brave, Zax. Stunning and brave review. Just take everything and make this the opposite. So Pop Culture says, yep, it seemed like a course correction given the fan reaction to Foggy's death. Marvel Star Wars Fanatic says, do y'all think this upcoming Punisher special will be him breaking out of this prison?
Did anyone, was I the only one who watched the post-credit scene?
I didn't.
No, I watched it.
Post-credit.
It was fucking retarded. Yeah, it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
What'd he do?
He
didn't
talked
see
to
it?
Frank. They showed Frank in his cage, and he talked to the police officer that was like overseeing them. He's like, "Oh, I see that you're a fan." Da, 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 da.
I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a fucking joke.
He's like, "Let me shake your hand," and then the officer is stupid enough to walk over and shake his hand, and then he pulls him in and like breaks his arm and gets the keys and gets out. So
the second I saw those credits, I turned it off. I was like, I'm done.
Oh.
Drewski, what'd you think of episode 9 and the series as a whole?
So, episode 9. I watched it twice to really. I really had to think about this because there are things like I had to make sure I didn't miss anything. So it really felt like there were a lot of like jump cuts to things, and I'm like a lot of just brushing through things really quickly. Like the whole New York losing power, the power coming back on, and like there's lawlessness and everything. Like they don't really take the time to build that up to really show that. They just kind of like just give you a couple glimpses of it and just tell you about what's happening. But I did. I mean, I love the head. I'm not like it's over the top, but I did get a kick out of the head squishing scene with Kingpin. It was that I got a reaction on it, got me to laugh. I enjoyed it. James Gandolfini Jr. in this is like I think this is his best episode. I felt like he did his best, and like I forget what scene it was, but like oh shit, he's really showing some chops in this episode. Damn. I wish we got more Bullseye. He just kind of just disappears. It's like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. All right, I guess he'll disappear. Is Heather? It really feels like Heather's got the Two-Face thing from Seinfeld going on. Like, sure, there are moments where she looks really, really cute, and there are times where it's like, "Are you Heather? Who are you? You don't doesn't look like you. You sure?"
I could see that.
That is her. But I hated the ending to this. It really wasn't an ending. It was a cliffhanger more than anything else to be continued next season. But I really don't know. I mean, I honestly, it's like a 4 or a 5 out for me. I mean, I really wanted more out of this season finale, and it really just left me saying, "That's it, really? Okay." Yeah, it's the weakest of all the seasons, and honestly, Jesus, I mean, the season as a whole, after every, it's got to be like a 5 or a 6, maybe. But even so, it's the weakest of all the seasons of Daredevil.
Whoa,
I mean,
that's the highest score we've gotten all night, though. A 6.
Seriously? No. It's at best. I mean, it's closer to a 5. It's got to be a 5.
I'm just trying to figure out how you ranked this episode a 4, but the season a 5 or 6.
Yeah, it just I don't. I'm just really. I don't want to go back and watch this again because this is the first season where I'm like, I don't want to go back and watch these episodes. I don't. I mean, you cannot pay me money to sit through that bank episode again.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Well, you don't even need to watch it because it's just
it's pointless.
It has no butterscotch candy.
Well, yeah, but what I'm getting at is that like the previous seasons of Daredevil, 1 through 3, I've rewatched those seasons. I don't know how many times, and this one, I'm like, I don't want to watch these again. I have no need to. I don't want to. And honestly, where it ends, I'm like, I don't know if I'm coming back for the next season. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel you there. I don't know if I have the good enough will to say if I want to watch this again. Or you know what? I'll maybe watch season 2, but I just won't do reviews of it on the channel.
Oh, I do. One more thing I think they did handle well. We were all concerned about it. It was the interaction between Punisher and the cops wearing the Punisher logo. I thought they handled that well in this. When they tried to get him, when they try to get him on their side, like he's like, you think you know my pain? You think you know that all this? It's just like, okay, all right, you guys handled that well, and it could have been a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, considering and this is why I always say, like, just take whatever you hear in media with a grain of salt, because we all not we all, but there was a lot of freaking out when they were like, we're addressing the iconography of the Punisher signal. Because everyone was like, oh, shit, we're getting Jason Aaron Punisher. He's going to ditch we never got that. In fact, we got the opposite. They're like, fuck this. You guys don't represent this. You don't understand. And Punisher's like, wannabes and, kills them all.
And I think there's a massive difference between there's like levels of magnitude with the Punisher logo. You've got cops and you've got just regular blue collar, just construction workers who throw on a Punisher logo on the back of their truck, and they go, hey, Punisher's cool, he's a cool character, I like what he stands for, he's a Marine, hoorah, hell yeah, brother, right? But then you got guys who are going out and think that they are Punisher and think that they can do what he does, but only because they're vindictive, cowardly bullies, right? And I think they needed to make that distinction clearer, because I think we needed to see how these cops really could have turned so evil because of their cowardly nature that Frank really did just tell them off and say, I would never want you guys to be like me. Because Frank hates himself. He doesn't like who he's become, because he knows that who he is now is a tortured soul from his family dying. And he knows that he's not a good man. He knows it, I think, intrinsically. But he wouldn't want these cops to be like him either. And I think they could have delved into that more. And they almost had it, because he's like, you don't know my pain. And I wanted him to get a little bit more into that, to say, like, you don't want to be like me because I'm not a good guy. And neither do you guys want to be that way, right?
I mean,
I don't know, but
I'm 100% with you. I would just say we still have, a whole what's now being billed as season 2 that's gonna deal with this group.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You got to leave somewhere to go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless they were gonna, completely abandon the story, which we know they're not. They're continuing the whole
More cop stuff.
Well, the anti-vigilante task force, because they're bringing in the other characters. But,
yeah. All right,
yeah.
so let's get into specifics of the show. Just real quick though, for right off the bat, because this was a big plot point that I was like, what? How did Fisk turn off the power to the city?
He had the guy there, so he makes the comment.
The Con Ed, the guy from Con Edison.
Yeah.
He's the power company there in New York.
Yeah.
So they were able to shut down the entire city?
It's shorthand. It is incredibly shorthand for shutting up the power.
Because when they show that drone shot of the entire island of New York, just goosh, 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 like everything just shutting down. I was like, oh my God, like he has control of everything. And then
from one guy at Con Edison.
Yeah. Which of course then, we get Summer of Love, we get the riots and the fires and stuff like that. And the next morning it's like, oh, shaking hands. Good work, everyone. We survived. So I didn't know how they had done that. But the thing I do want to talk about is, speaking of Punisher, I do like what Punisher HQ talked about earlier on how Punisher would have come in there with like freaking guns blazing, but he would have had an AR-15, couple different Berettas, probably had a shotgun, most likely would have had some sort of M9, maybe some sort of automatic weapon. Like he would have come packing, and he just came with like a pistol and then an axe. And he's not as much of a brawler, I don't think, as Daredevil. Whereas Matt is someone who's hand to hand, where Frank, if he can, was just going to shoot everyone in the head.
Well, he's called he's called Daredevil out, like doing a dance. He's like, no, we're not. I mean, he's like, Frank's not there to dance. He's there to take out his enemies.
Yeah. So did you guys think that that Punisher was done well, especially when he walks into that cop, warehouse, and he didn't bring any weapons. He brought a knife.
I felt like he wanted to be caught.
And that's kind of what I thought, but I don't know if I was like,
well,
why?
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, unless it was like, so all the information he has on these guys so far is secondhand from kind of what Matt was telling him. So I don't know if this was his way of like, let me get inside and scope it out, and I know I'll get out. I don't know if that was part of it. Who knows? We'll see. Like, I don't know. But if we're staying in line, even with the character within the Netflix shows and stuff, there was plenty of times he went into situations without being equipped. So it's in line with this character in this universe. If you watched the 2 Punisher seasons, there's been plenty of times he's gone into situations without an arsenal. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's in line.
It's consistent with, right.
So,
yeah, I mean, I wish that season 2 of Punisher was a little bit better. I felt like it focused on that kid too much, but I feel like if these if these showrunners for Daredevil really wanted to make a difference and actually build upon some of the Punisher stuff, they would have made him more equipped. But that's just one of the point of contentions for me. Anything in particular about the episode that you guys didn't like or did like, or that you found? I know we talked about Fisk kind of smashing the commissioner's head, and it kind of seemed out of nowhere, which I agree.
The one thing I'll talk about, Drew was right. There's a lot of shorthand in this episode, which I dislike, but I'm also kind of like, we wasted 6 episodes, so thank God. Like, I don't want another 6 episodes trying to set something up. Like, shorthanded if you need to, that's fine. Not fine, but it's the lesser of 2 evils. What I did like, I loved the Buck scene of him going to the hospital. Like, for me, I really enjoyed that.
Interesting. Where he's got the needle and
he's getting ready to kill Matt. Like, I even loved the line that Fisk says about, whatever, a dead hero is better than a live vigilante. I thought that was good writing. I loved Sheila. Like, I have hated Sheila. Well, I haven't hated Sheila. I've had no care in the world about Sheila this entire season. And the fact that, like, it looks like she's about, like, I went into this episode sure that Sheila was going to get killed. And the fact that she
Sheila?
then, she's like the head of the political group. She the black lady.
Advisor?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I don't
So
know
the
any of
fact-
these names.
Yeah, the fact that she then sold out the police commissioner to Fisk, I did not see coming.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they were gonna try to team up, and she was like gonna be a goner, and then she went to Fisk. Whether it was self-preservation or what, I don't care. But I was like, there's finally some depth that seems realistic to, like, that was the most Netflix Daredevil thing that happened in this entire episode. Was she went, like, I know this man, I know his history, I know what he's done. If I'm gonna live, I have to like work with him.
And it adds some depth and complexity to her. Because now she's not just a
100%.
one-note character. She's now a little bit more complex. And so we're actually questioning her, like, why did she do that? Right. So
I love that we're practically making Heather Glenn a full-on villain at this point. I will take it. I hate that bitch in the series. I loved that Matt, look, maybe this is me making it up, but when Matt says Karen from the hospital bed, like, you can't tell me he didn't know that Karen wasn't there. He knew what he was doing. He's like,
listening to
I'm
Heather's heart,
sick
and
of
he's
this
like,
bitch. I'm tired of my, like, crisis of faith that I've been having. I'm tired of this whole, like, trying to be something that I'm not. Like, fuck all this. I'm Daredevil. I'm putting this mask back on. I don't give a shit. And even when he was like, you know what, you may not want to believe me, and like, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, let's get past all of this bullshit.
Yeah, he's grown some balls again, finally.
Right. And ironically, Heather is now more interesting than she's ever been by, like, going to work for Fisk. Like, that one little thing.
I guess that's
So,
but Heather, does need to die. So
let her do what she did in the comics. I'll be okay with that.
Oh no, that'd actually be smart. That'd be good.
Yeah.
And then she can make a painting for Fisk and give that to him after she, does her thing in the comics. So
what do you mean paint? What?
Yeah, so if she puts a canvas behind her, she can make a painting for Fisk.
Oh, okay, yes. There you go. I was like, what?
Rabbit in a
you know what she
snowstorm.
does? yeah.
Yeah.
Whole other one.
So
I
she
do
can give him a
like
painting.
I did like Vanessa and Fisk in this episode. Like, this is where they should be. This is how they should be operating. So it's another thing that I thought was done well.
What do we think about Karen coming back?
I'm fine with it. Like, she should have been there from day one.
I was about to say, it seemed very odd because, like, in that first episode, or was it no, it was episode 2.
No, it's episode 1.
No, is it? Yeah, it was episode 1. She's like, I can't do this. I'm done. I don't know who you are. This is, I wish I could say, but I'm in a better place now and I'm gone. And I was like, whoa, what the freak? Like, why are you leaving now? And then
this is what happens when you're forced to tell a story that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And
it
I know
make
that
sense that she would, I mean, even though she's mad at Matt, it doesn't make sense that she would leave. But they had to make her leave. So it's like, all right, well, I guess we're going to do this bullshit, but there you go. So,
but in all reality, are Matt and Frank gonna Eiffel Tower Karen? Because their heartbeats are both going nuts for her. And
do it.
Like, she sounds like she's down for it. So
I think you're gonna. So I said this in a previous episode of ours. I do think they're going to have maybe not a full-on love triangle, but I think you're gonna see Matt wanting to rekindle things with Karen, her not being as receptive, and her being kind of like she's always been with Frank. Like, she's gonna try to pull the good out of him. So yeah.
Do we like that Frank would fall in love with another woman?
I don't think Frank would fall in love with her. I think Frank would.
I think he softens up to her.
I think he would find emotional. Well, here's the thing. Like, Frank understands good and bad, right?
Yeah.
And I think he sees an innocence in Karen because she's ultimately a female that's trying to do good with her life.
Yeah.
But I think he's also aware that there's a darker side to her, and kind of what you were saying. He doesn't want her to fall down that path. So does Frank care about people? Yeah. Is he ever going to let them know? Not really.
Yeah.
Will he bang Karen? I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't think it's going to be love.
I see. I don't think, at least the Punisher that I know, wouldn't bang Karen.
Punisher's banged a couple of people in the comics. Like, let's be for real. So,
but I love that one panel where he saves the life of this I forget, she's either a prostitute or a stripper or a lady of the night, I don't know. And she goes like, "Oh, thank you for saving me. What can I do to repay you?" You know, she's obviously soliciting herself.
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep with a prostitute either. Like,
and he goes, "Why don't you get your freaking life together, you whore?" And then like leaves her on the side of the street. And I was like, "Oh, it's pretty based." So I do know that Frank has turned it down before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like his war, I feel like his crusade has nothing to do, like, I don't feel like he looks at women that way. I feel like his mind just works different. Like he is on a mission, and that's the only thing that he pursues.
I think that we are human beings, and sometimes the need for touch,
companionship.
Yeah. Even if it's not something that's long lasting, I think sometimes that can get the best of us as human beings. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked or mad if I saw that. And I would say, like, even in those cases, I know people that are like, "Oh, I don't want a relationship. I just want something that's like sensual."
Yeah.
But they'll choose to do it with someone they actually have some type of relationship or feelings for, as opposed to, "Let me go get a hooker." You know, like,
yeah,
I don't want it to burn while I'm peeing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, exactly. I know how that feels. But I'm kidding. That is a joke, chat. But I do, you know, there was a sorry, I had to preface, because you never know. People on the internet will take something and just run with it. So the line where Frank goes, "Hey, Karen, like I helped you, didn't I?" Or something like that. Or he's like, you know, when Karen's walking out and he's like, I did what you said, or I did what you told me. It was something to that effect, right? Where she asked for a favor and he did the favor. And I think he was trying to say, like, "Hey, I came through, you know, like, you can count on me. You can rely on me. I came through for this. I'm not, you know, I'm secluded, but I'm not out of the, off the team." I guess, essentially. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but that was kind of an interesting line. But
yeah, I mean, again, if you followed their story within this universe, it makes sense, because she's shown up in Punisher. You know, like, so, like, they've got this kind of weird dynamic. I think she's enamored with Frank because she has killed someone. And I think in some ways she's trying to figure out how to cope with it, and he copes with it. So
I think she just wants him to just berserker rage. I mean, just absolutely pound town.
That too, probably.
Hell yeah.
I dirty little slut.
I know, 100. Like, I think because she's had the sensual, passionate, you know, because Matt's a playboy. Matt's a good-looking dude. He knows how to, you know, schmooze with the ladies. He's going to know how to take care of Karen, right? But I think Karen, at this point, she's been through so much that she just wants to go straight to Pound Town, and Frank's the one to give it to her. And so now I'm coming up with shipping, and I don't want to do that. So we'll just move on. The one thing that I didn't like about this episode as well is the fact that, like, when Daredevil is like, "I've come up with, you know, we're gonna need an army," and it's like, and you know, Daredevil's army is Jerry. Like, yeah. And like the old bitch from behind the bar, yeah. It's like, oh, and then the detective, the hostage negotiative detective. It's like, yeah. Who are these people? Why are they on his, like, quote unquote army? All these people suck. No one wants them in his, like,
that's all you
crusade.
need.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I will agree that was pretty underwhelming.
It's just cringy.
this was something that was asked of the directors, and it was point blank presented like, hey, this was a little underwhelming. Like, I thought we were gonna see Luke Cage and Kristen Ritter, and like I thought we were gonna see those guys there. And they point blank said, yeah, that was actually something we thought about, but then the comment was made, it gives too much hope and it makes it seem like their fight would be too easy. So they were given notes. Pretty much to be like, this needs to feel like it's going to be more of a challenge for Daredevil. And I'm like, great, you accomplished that, but it was still lackluster. Like,
yeah, I was about to say,
still
like,
not like. I mean, I like Cherry. I wish they would have done more with Cherry, but I'm not like, oh yeah, like I'm not like we're rocking and rolling. I'm like, oh, okay. But the best thing to come out of this are all the memes on the internet. They're like, someone's taking a still of that. They're like, fix this image. And you've got people just inserting characters, but half the time it's not even Marvel characters. You've got like Sonic the Hedgehog, like it's like crazy ass shit. So that's been entertaining. But
that's funny. I have not seen any of those. You're gonna have to send them to me.
It's been great.
That'd be real, like Winnie the Pooh and just like random. Like
it's been. I mean, some have been kind of on point, but a lot have just been like random, like
stupid, funny ones. Yeah. Pokemon's in there, yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, that's just like, not only did it was underwhelming, but it also just felt like that's pathetic. Like the bar lady, like, come on, what are we gonna do with that? There's got to be like some level of.
But that's the point. It's the ragtagness. It's the few going against the men. You need to have
embarrassing.
That. What exactly? You got to rise up.
I mean, I think
we got to resist.
You could potentially have good stories coming from this, right? So you've got one, kudos that you had police officers there, because it was mostly police officers. Like, it was police officers, Cherry, who's a private detective now, and then Karen and whoever the bartender is for Josie's. So one, I'm glad they showed that there are good cops and they aren't pulling this whole bullshit of like every cop is bad. You could have interesting stories of like working within the system of the good cops and the bad cops and that push and pull. The problem is, like, none of these characters are exciting characters. Angry, Down syndrome, angry cat lady, Asian chick with that one, the one that's the hostage negotiator, and then she's the captain. The next, like, who gives? Like, I was like, why did you put her there? Just put a random cop there instead, please.
She's the worst.
Yeah. So,
no, there should have been more women. I thought it was hysterical that there were several women that were like the bad cops that would go out and literally shoot people in the street and then be like, oh, these are vigilante. Yeah, because women would definitely be doing that. It's like, come give me a fucking break. Like, and one of those women actually punches Frank Castle at one point.
I saw that. And I was like, she'd
rip her fucking face off. Like, are you
she
kidding?
Would break her hand on Frank's face. Like, she would be like, oh my God.
No, we got to have women represented as horrible, evil people too.
Yeah. But if you notice that in the bar with Daredevil, when he's like, resist, the cops are both women.
And they should
be.
The
two cops.
That makes sense. That's what the women would do.
Girls.
Like, yeah, those guys are bad. We're not like them.
No.
Fucking pussy.
We resist. Yeah, Kyle, I'm sure you have thoughts of women in the force. A lot of my Marine Corps buddies actually still don't believe that there should be any female Marines.
Look, anytime I had to go up against a woman in combatives in the academy, it's not fair.
No.
I'm 6'1", 250 pounds at that point. You cannot do anything to me. You just can't. So then you have to pretend. Like, they would try to come at me and fight. I literally would throw them across the mat, and it's like, I'm not even trying. It's not fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, you're not. I mean, unless they're actually gonna like physically try to hurt you, meaning like they're gonna try to kick you in the nuts or they're gonna try to gouge your eye, they're not gonna be able to do anything.
Never.
And they're not gonna try to do that. So
And so then it's like, no, but you have to let them try to do this move on you. I'm like, what are we doing?
We're seeing
but then
this
it's not
I was about to say we're seeing this from the Last of Us season 2 premiere. Have y'all seen that clip where?
Yes, yeah.
No.
Where Ellie tries to do like a triangle, or not a. She tries to do I don't know what the jujitsu term
I
is
mean, it's
called, but
basically like a triangle almost. Like she tries to
yeah,
choke him out using a triangle with her legs.
and
But
it's
then,
just so funny.
he like flips over him and then like forces him to the ground, and she's like 5 foot tall, if that, and he's probably 6'1" and jacked as well. You're like, fuck off.
Never
Oh
happened.
no, so they actually on Drinkers show, on his live show, they looked up the guy's stats, and he's a professional MMA fighter. He's 6'4" and 260 pounds. Like, oh my god, you're a giant. Like
Yeah.
you're a
Yeah.
massive human being, and this stupid, like, weirdo actress woman is, I think her stats are 5 foot or 5'1", and I think she's 100 pounds. Like,
Oh God.
you're talking, like, it's not even funny. You would break
No.
her back just looking at her. So yeah, that whole scene was just hilarious though.
One of the posts I saw of that showed like that clip, and the person was like, yeah. And then they had another clip of like people doing MMA, and it was a chick trying to fight a dude. So she does manage to get him to the ground, and she puts him in a lock, and then he literally just like lifts up and
Stands
picks her up, and then just is holding her up. And you could tell he's like, you've lost. I'm either gonna punch the shit out of you or slam you down, one of the two. So
Well, if we remember the classic Rampage Jackson UFC fight where he got a knockout on his opponent by physically lifting him up into the air and then ground and pounding, smashing him onto the mat. And that is another grown man that he was able to do that with, right? Now, granted, that is Rampage Jackson, but yeah, it's doable with someone who is equally your size and weight. So someone who's 100+ pounds less than you, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's no contest. I'm gonna beat
Yeah.
you every time, unless somehow you catch me off guard on something. Even then, I'll still probably be able to overpower you.
Exactly. Now, the last thing I wanted to say is I could have sworn I saw Leroy Jenkins back out on the street. Did you guys see him?
No.
I'm not
I did as
crazy.
well. No,
Did you?
there was.
I didn't.
I
see
can't
him.
remember when, but it was the second time I was watching. I was like, "Is that fucking Leroy?"
I need to
I
look it up.
think
All
it's
right.
like, I think he got his parole, or he's back out on the street or something. But I thought it was like when Daredevil's saying his cringe speech.
Oh, at
And
the
they were
end.
showing like,
Okay.
yeah, the end, like where they're talking about the BB, or they're showing clips of BB report stuff, and Daredevil's talking about resisting and all this bull crap.
Oh,
Um,
I gotta find it. Let me look
it's
this up.
somewhere around here. I know it's close to the end, but yeah, bro, I almost turned it off right after I saw him because I was like, "That's Leroy. That's 100% Leroy Jenkins."
All right, let's see here. Let me see if I can find it because that's awesome.
While we're looking for this, Marvel Star Wars fanatic asks Kyle, "Are those books or movies behind you?"
Where? I don't have any
behind
movies
your-
behind me.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any movies. They're all comic books.
Okay. So it's either this shot here, and I know it's tough to tell because I have the logo in front, but that's either Leroy or
Sweeping,
that's Leroy.
crossing the street. You just think every black man is Leroy Jenkins, eh?
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
All
it
right. Well,
definitely
that's
looks
fair.
like it.
Well, yeah, you have to profile. That's smart for you. See, you would be one of the good cops out there with no body cam, stopping and frisking / shooting.
I
That's smart.
mean, I do have a Punisher tattoo on my neck, so.
Well, that guy deserves to be shot. He's probably jaywalking. So
Yeah, it's either this guy or this dude.
all right.
That's gotta be Leroy.
Oops. All right. Slow this down here. See if I can see.
And
He's
then
going to get some dessert.
gonna get that
Ooh,
fiddle faddle.
fiddle.
And then they had the Gorlock, the destroyer, on here again.
Yeah, I saw her. It's like, hey, she's back.
Look who it is.
He,
brought her
they, them,
back
whatever the fuck that thing
for
is.
the season finale. They brought this thing back.
I think they showcase almost every person from the BB reports to, I don't know, maybe try to show some connective tissue from this.
They showed
season.
the white tiger granddaughter.
Oh God,
which
yeah, they
released, yeah.
should have killed her. They should have killed her. Mew should still be around.
Is that him?
See, I think that's
Is that
him.
him?
Possibly.
That's got to be Leroy, right?
I really can't tell. That might be him.
He's
It
on
looks-
his way to get him some.
He
food.
is black, so it doesn't look like.
So, therefore,
Yeah,
He
I
is
think
Leroy
It is
Jenkins.
him. It's definitely him.
maybe if we looked at the credits, we could see if he's in this episode
Oh, yeah.
or the IMDb. I don't know.
All right, so you didn't see this scene. You didn't see this scene here with Punisher. You didn't see the end scene after
Wait.
the credit, or like mid
So
credits.
there's credits,
Yeah,
and this whole scene I did not see. No.
God, it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's rough.
So he just shakes the guy's hand and is like, gotcha.
He's like, "Hey man, you serve? Oh, that's cool, dude. Oh, you're really
Oh, my
awesome, man.
God.
Oh, hey, you're a really great cop, buddy. We're all, we got to stick together." And the cop's like, "Yeah, dude, we really do. You're so awesome, man." He's like, "Yeah, let me shake your hand, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your service." It's like, you are the dumbest fucking person on the planet.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that wasn't hard.
Exactly. He was like, is this happening right now?
You're really that dumb?
I
He's
thought
like,
that
man,
cop
my
was just gonna fucking
sycophants
shoot him in the
really.
head. I was like,
He's
oh,
like,
he's gonna go in there and like fucking just shoot fucking Frank Castle in the head. That would have been awesome.
I really wish my fans were smarter than this.
I know.
Oh well. So for me, I think I would give the season as a whole probably a 4. I think on average I ranked almost more episodes than not 4s, which means that if we were to actually do an average, I think probably a 3 or 4 tracks. I think the best thing out of this whole 9 episodes to come out of it was the Leroy Jenkins episode, not because of Leroy, but because we actually get Frank and Matt, that scene with them. So, which I think is by far and away the best thing we got from this. So, would you guys say that that's probably the best thing from the show, or was there anything else you guys liked more than that scene with them?
No, that was the best scene. This is why I keep talking about like Drew mentioned the shorthand, and it's like I feel like we got robbed a lot of really good moments between characters because we had to shorthand so much to just get to a point that it was like, here, shit has to happen. Like we've got to make up for 6 episodes of bullshit. So yeah, but.
Yeah, we could have some really good character stuff with Frank going down that road of these cops using his symbol. Like, what does that actually mean?
Yeah.
Like, what does Frank actually do? Like, how does he come to terms with that?
Yeah.
And then turning onto, I'm going to shoot these cops in the fucking face 7 or 8 times. Like, how you make that turn seemingly out of nowhere. And it's like I get it, but like I would have liked a whole episode to deal with that and him really surveilling that, like going undercover, figuring out, okay, this is who these cops are. I've been tailing these guys for months. I'm trying to figure it out. And he comes, it's like he just happens to come across the shell casing in the apartment. Like Frank should have known that. Frank should have known it was this fucking guy this whole time. And it came across as kind of weak.
Yeah. I also look at it in the perspective of like how much better Fisk would have been if we weren't focusing on this therapy bullshit. And if you had actually gotten to see Fisk, what he did essentially in these last 2 episodes of him slowly just working his way through different parts of city management to kind of coerce people of, you're going to do what I want. Even the police, if he'd gotten certain police officers that maybe wouldn't have been corrupt police officers, but he were finding ways to threaten or force their hand so that they're like, yeah, I'll sign on and do this. Look, if we'd gotten that, because Drew mentioned what's his name, Gandolfini, like his best scene, the best scene we've had of him was this episode when he's talking to the city council members that they bring in, that they're like, you're the ones that we found dirt on, so guess what? We're about to leverage the fuck out of you guys. If you had a full season of Fisk finding people within the city and doing that, you would have been like, I'm on board. And it wouldn't have felt so rushed. Yeah, that's who he is. That's what he does.
Fisk is smart. He's really smart, and he knows how to control the city.
We had who's in charge here? Fill this hole.
Fill that hole. Fill that hole.
Well, the entire time watching this season, seeing Fisk run New York, I couldn't help but think of a better show. It only lasted 2 seasons, but it was a much better show and something similar to this. It's called Boss with Kelsey Grammer when he was the mayor of Chicago. I saw it. That's how you do it better than this.
Dude, House of Cards, like Frank Underwood in House of Cards should essentially be Fisk, or Fisk should, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get that political leaning of you're just doing terrible shit. But yeah,
I would say yes, but I would also say Kelsey Grammer in Boss as the mayor, as Mayor Kane. You got to see him in that, and you really see how evil and corrupt he is in that show.
Yeah. And I'm fine if you want to have the therapy route, if it's strictly from the perspective of Fisk knows that she's dating Matt, and that's the only reason he's getting close to her. And even then, it's trying to find ways of coercing her, but maybe not like forcefully.
Agreed.
So.
Well, Giddy and I are just happy that we don't have to review the show anymore.
Yeah, but we got Ironheart too, man.
And we got Ironheart.
Well, you guys can do that on your channel, Josh.
No, I don't have a channel. That's what your channel's here for.
Yep.
Oh God. Wait, we get to do all the cool comics and all the really good movies and shows on your channel, but then I get stuck with all the bad stuff.
Time out. You could do cool comics on your show if you chose to.
It's true.
Yeah. Maybe. I'll think about it.
You and I did talk about Simon Bisley's The Bible, by the way.
Which should be coming out this summer. Which as of July 4th will be a full year since we've filmed it.
Shit.
You gotta be shitting me.
I can't say anything because I haven't posted our Buffy video. But
that's right, we did. We did do that.
There's a reason for that ish. But
yeah, that's okay. Yeah, well, the reason I keep getting sick is because all
college girls.
Well, man. But work is work will have me working late into the night after 5, but then I'll come home and start working on something, and then the next morning I'm up at the gym early. I'm pouring my Pellegrino in a bowl and I'm putting my face in there, and it's 3:50 in the morning, but I'm only getting 3 hours of sleep, so I'm like, damn it. Yeah. So then I get sick, and then I can't do a video, so it's and then the cycle starts all over again.
Yeah, someone was asking me how much sleep do I get on average, and I'm like, yeah, 5 hours. They're like, how? I'm like,
yeah,
it's 5 hours.
Yeah, I would say, because I have that sleep app that tells you how when you're in REM and then how much sleep, and it'll say you're in bed for maybe 6 or 7 hours, but you only got 5 hours of sleep, right?
Oh no. I'm not in bed for 6 or 7 hours. I'm getting in bed, and if I were to fall asleep right then, I might get 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I'm usually not going to bed till 12 or after, and then I'm getting up at 5. So
yeah,
I need 8. If I don't get 8,
it's bad.
Oh, so with Jack, that's brutal then, Kyle.
Yeah.
You see, I'm still able to get a decent amount of sleep with a not quite 2-year-old. So
do you have to do that like Kramer though, where he's doing it in 30-minute stints?
No, I just sleep.
Oh,
8 hours straight?
Whiskey.
That's nice.
Or
whiskey.
For the kid,
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Put on the little nipple, a little bit of whiskey on the
nipple.
Yep.
Hey, we've got Jay Drunk 3PO here. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. He says, get some sleep. Hey, you guys better be getting some sleep in Vegas, brother. So
yeah,
we're missing you, and I hope you're having a great time. But And I was gonna say, Drunk, happy Easter, my friend. If I don't see you, if I don't get to talk to you, happy Easter and happy Good Friday. I hope you're celebrating with family this weekend, and hope you're doing something nice, or you have a church to go to. So, but other than that, I think that brings us to the close. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. This was a super fun discussion. I know we did not talk comics, and I know MG is going to get butthurt. So it's all it's all good though. We promise to bring back comics next week because we won't have to spend an hour on this show. Thanks, man. Appreciate you lurking, and always appreciate you hopping in the chat as well. So. And thank you, Pop Culture Republic, as well. Appreciate you being here. I think this is the first time I've seen you, so welcome, and appreciate you joining the crusade. But other than that, yeah, I'm excited to get back into some more comics. I think implementing some cool stuff that we can do in terms of like single issues we've read that are really great, or trade paperbacks that we've read that are really great. Even potentially, dare I say, bringing back Miracle Man.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah.
Wow,
So-
I forgot about that. Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
just left that
Mhm.
hanging out.
We
there.
just totally we did it with Gem Mint one week, and then
We got to
just
bring them
never
back.
touched it.
Yeah, we got to keep it going.
Gotta
Okay.
do. We still have to do Omega Men as well.
That's right.
That's right.
You paid us $20 to do that one.
I did.
Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot on the horizon. We're excited to do all this new stuff, and should be a fun time. So with all that being said, hope everyone has a wonderful Good Friday, recognizing the symbolism of what this means for us. And if anyone in the chat or any of our viewers ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either through email or just on Twitter or Instagram, because yeah, it's a really big part of my life, and it's essentially who I am and what we I don't know, I think it's part of where our reviews like come from, like how we interact with culture, how we interact with pop culture, how we interact with art. All that stuff is informed by our worldview, which comes from a lot of our faith. So it's a big part. But hope everyone has a wonderful Good Friday and a happy Easter. Yeah, Jack Frost says, not holding my breath for Miracle Man. I believe it. It's been a year, probably. So
At least.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get on that. If we can survive fire and ice, we'll get on the Miracle Man soon as well. But yeah. Anything else before we head out?
Get the Roku. Hope you have Roku. Stay tuned. It may be. I'll talk behind the scenes about it.
All right. Sounds good, man. MG says later, boys. I'm so mad. I'm leaving mean comments.
Do it.
Well,
do
maybe
it.
next week we'll read them.
Do MG be like, it would be nice if the Comics Crusader actually covered comics on his show, like that Pop by Culture channel. They talk about comics.
They do talk about comics every now and then. So, well, other than that, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Take care and happy Easter. Bye, guys.